Clock, please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. First on the agenda is to approve the minutes of October 21st as written.
I'll move.
I'll second. Moved by Thompson, seconded by Meats. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All abstain. You'll abstain. Yep, you as well. Passes 3. One
Oh, you
abstention.
need to correct that and have them in there.
Yeah, you do have to be in there, that's it.
I'll
Use
use
that
that.
with
Correct.
correction.
I'll get it corrected
Okay.
again.
One miscellaneous motion to reappoint Greg Stice as District 1 member of the Coffee County Housing Authority to a 4-year term beginning October 27, 2024 and ending October 26, 2028.
I'll move.
I'll second. Moved by McCurry, seconded by Knight. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. So I think that ends our miscellaneous motions, doesn't it?
Yes.
We will go with our 905 River City. Pretty fast, Jimmy Jones.
Yeah, good. He's gonna get some rain west, it'll slow down.
Yeah.
No, we're just gonna go a different avenue. We go inside. Just one light item on the back there. Ongoing right now, trying to finish up the exterior veneer brick, on the outside of the building. Hopefully have that finished up, depending on rain, by the end of the month. About first week of November. Looking to start going on installing some windows, get the building sealed up. Inside, they're doing MEP rough-ins in the jail area on the south side, getting ready for cell placement, which will happen on the weekend, November 11th. They'll be here Monday, Tuesday to prep and set Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So by the end of the week, November 15th, we'll have cells set. They've hit first floor, sheriff's office area, electrical rough-in, plumbing rough-in, it's done. They've done some sheetrock top out, and everybody's moving on the second floor up in the county attorney's area. So as far as the interior goes, we're looking pretty good. Just trying to get the building sealed up so we can get it heated and get some sheetrock installed. As far as the roof goes, all the TPO is in or on, besides the little bump out areas where you see the EIFS. So we're waiting on a little bit of brick to be laid there, and we'll get it put in. So everything's going pretty good. Just trying to get it sealed up. You know, we got some rain coming, so we'll deal with it, what we got to deal with, and move on from there.
40-mile-an-hour wind will blow something in. Or your neighbors leave.
We hope.
Or rain, so.
Right.
Are your windows here, are they already on storage, or they?
No, you're good. He emailed me last week. I think they'll be here on the 11th. The glass will be here. So he'll have two pallets of that we'll have to store. So
Got plenty of room.
I think so, yeah. Trying to get the mason done and out of here so I got a little bit more room, so they can't get done fast enough.
They probably got another job to do too, so.
Oh, I'm sure they do, yeah. Any other questions?
I don't have anything. Keep moving along.
Trying to.
While Ryan's still here, contacted me last week to talk about getting ready to pour concrete back there on the south side where the entrance to the old Sally Port is, where they had to dig that out. It's now gravel and concrete that area. Here in about 30 days, they're going to start doing that. And he asked, I know that you all said something, and we had said something about fixing that concrete on around the corner of the building where it always stands in water. And also this front area here, the horseshoe, we call it, you know, going in the west doors is all cracked and broke up. Do we want to do that while they're pouring concrete? Because the issue Cole talked about was, he didn't want to pour concrete coming out of the, the old Sally Port up to the street, and then 4 months from now, be driving over it, pulling in there, trying to put concrete in that, around the corner of the building there. So if we want to do that, and I asked him, I said, the commissioner's going to want to know price. And he says, I really want them to give us the okay to do this before I call somebody, start making bids, so they don't charge us more for drawings and environmental or whatever needs to be done. But if we're thinking about doing that, we're going to have to try to make some decisions here within 30 days.
It's not that, the contractors aren't gonna get any closer. I mean, the work.
Right, so I just figured we'd have Concrete Unlimited just throw a bid out, and then or they can do it on a T&M basis, or they can give us a hard bid. I would assume just come out and look at it, give us a hard bid of what they think it would cost. But I don't wanna waste their time if it's not something we think we're gonna do.
But it's something that needs to be done.
It's something that needs to be done, sir. I mean, if you remember, as you walk in the west side of the building here, all the cracks are tearing up, all the concrete, just from years of use. That needs to be done, there's no doubt. This front going concrete from the new build to the west doors, absolutely. And this stuff in the back always has had water standing, has water running under the brick down into the basement. We've always had those issues. So, yeah, it needs to be done probably. But I want the public to know too that this isn't coming out of a $30 million project. This will be something coming out of the general fund, building maintenance or whatever. This is not something we're adding on.
Have any idea, estimated cost?
No, I just talked to him.
Square footage or anything?
I just talked to him last Friday, told him it might be something, coming down the pipe, so I don't wanna waste their time and have them come out here and, if it's not even a thought. If you guys think it's something you're gonna do, then I'll have them come out here and measure it up and give us a bid, so.
We would have to advertise for bids, wouldn't we?
That'd be a way
We have to look into that. I mean, the benefit of what's happening is Concrete Unlimited's already mobilized, so I'm sure there's probably some discount in that, but I mean, you're potentially right. It would have to be a decision made fairly quickly. If you remember the west, coming out the west doors, we had that issue originally where there's some unused piping or a chase that I know Ryan and I dealt with at one point in time, where there was water that ended up leaking into the POC, and at a minimum, that needs to be addressed, and this would be an opportunity to address that particular issue. And then the current jail in that area that Tom's talking about, I mean, that is a potential liability for the county that needs to be addressed at some point in time. So those two areas are ripe for consideration. You don't want to spend any more money, I get that, but you don't want to have to come in and tear something up that's new to fix it later.
I just think if it's something that's going to be done down the road, now's the opportune time to do it. And I know it's gonna cost more money to come out of the general fund, but I would think that now's the time to do it. But
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's something you guys are thinking about, I'll just call them and have them get an estimate. I mean, it's not something you have to do, you know what I mean? Just,
We can probably get a number from Concrete Unlimited, get one from a local contractor as well.
yeah, however y'all wanna handle that. I mean,
I wouldn't think it'd take a whole lot, but it could.
Concrete is expensive.
It's,
from
yeah,
what I'm
it's
told.
It is.
I know Tom had mentioned it was something that needed to be done, and he's obviously your resident concrete expert.
I know he would be all for doing something with it.
I think it would.
Get it done while
Get-
we've got
All we've got.
I think
the
he,
construction and the mess here now. So
I think he even mentioned it earlier before, said he
Yeah.
thought that ought to be redone, but I don't want to speak for him.
Sure.
I just know trying to mobilize it in tearing old stuff out after you pour new stuff and tracking over that and the risk of tearing new
Tearing
stuff
the new
up.
stuff up, yeah,
Yeah. Start from the building and work your way out, so you're not tracking over new stuff,
right.
so.
I would say get with them and try to get a hard number from them, I
Okay.
guess,
Yeah, I can do that. I can call them this morning.
and, see what we can find, huh?
Okay. We're just talking Horseshoe and then back from the south end of the jailer. Okay.
Is that right, Johnson?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll have them look into it.
Okay.
I do.
Appreciate it.
Anything else?
Thanks, Ryan.
Good.
Thank you.
See you guys.
Thank you.
Take care. All right, on to the fun stuff. County Councilor Wade Bowie Jail Project Review and Pay Application Number 10, change orders 20 and 21-22.
So, change order 20, 21, and 22, you have them in your packet. These are the hard copies, but if you so choose, they'll be approved. Here's a couple items for you. The motion, behind the motion is a couple documents. Those documents were provided to me by River City, and going through pay app number 10, if you studied it and looked at it, it references within it change orders that, for each company, their internal change order number. So we have a document that Cole put together that corresponds to change orders that tie to what you've approved in the past. And that's the document that has the columns, the diagonal columns, so you guys can have that. So let me pull it up on the screen. It should be pretty painless.
$1.7 million is not painless.
Well, that's not painless, but going through and being able to track. Myself and the sheriff went through and spent a couple hours with Cole.
How much painful part of this is you and your computer skills, Billy?
Well, I know we connected Angie's computer to it last week.
Yeah.
Keep it going.
I mean, it should connect. Shouldn't be an issue with it. I would say that. It's gonna show them it's there.
Nothing's happening.
There you are.
Yeah, this is the way that we used to do it, but it's had issues connecting.
I was looking at the contingency plan that, it's all tied to that one number, but there are 3 different companies.
There it is. Wow. Showing up there?
Just lower right-hand corner says allow input. Select here to enable mouse keyboard touch. Technology. How's your computer, Steve? Working fine?
It is now, after it updated, but I can't get it to.
That won't turn back.
No, it won't turn back.
Here about 6 weeks ago, I had the same issue. Isn't any good to shake it.
When the meeting got over, you switched it with Steve.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Ron.
There is a possibility of that, but I don't switch it.
At least I got a screen now.
Okay. There we go. I'm not sure what the issue was. Apologize for that. So here's your application for payment number 10. So the one that was sent to you by email is different than this one, and the only way it's different is this one has my comments and edits on it. So application number 10, period ending September 30th, the total payment due $1,748,706.50. Has the same charts that all the other ones have. The main thing that if you look at these, what you want to look at is work completed. It will have work and stored material that applies to this particular period, and that's what we'll cover through each of these pay applications. So Concrete Unlimited, it's their pay application number 8. Their total after retainage is $81,387. You see in the very bottom, the total before retainage is $94.30. And that is for concrete at multiple locations, the work completed $74,146. And then change order, this is where it gets confusing. And if you look up there where it's highlighted, change order number 1 and change order number 2, that's their internal change order number 1 and number 2. But change order number 11 and number 15, if you look on your document like this, that's what that corresponds to. So they've been approved, and each of them, Sallyport and the activity room walls is change order number 1 and number 2 for Concrete Unlimited, 11 and 15. That's where you get those amounts. So that was confusing, it had to be sorted out, but we got it. Moving on to Wheatland, it's their application number 6, the total $285,175.80, before retainage $316,862. I think it pretty much speaks for itself. The block labor, block material, brick material. If you've been around the current structure,
A lot of brick.
that all makes sense. Now, change orders 1 through 7, those are their internal change order numbers. But our numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, on the right column, 1, 2, 7, 8, 10, 11, 16 correspond with that same chart. Took a little extra time to go through this one to match those up, but I want to make sure you were able to follow. I wanted to make sure I could follow. HME Steel, 103702, that's their pay application number 8, and the total before retainage 115,224. Again, steel erection 87,000. Their change orders 2, 3, and 4 corresponds with our change orders that have been approved 7, 11, and 17, and those numbers and figures will match up if you go back and look at them. IBC Carpentry, pay application 7, that total is 93,335 with the work completed 62,667 and stored materials 41,039. So if you look within their pay app, rough carpentry, roof blocking, finished carpentry, finished casework is the 41,039. Canopy materials, that was completed this period. You get the 2, they add up to 103,706. This number up here should have been 103. That bottom number down here, 103,706, so that's my fault. Some pictures of some of the stored materials. IBC is tied to this same pay app, so they're the supplier pay application to IBC. So all this ties together, so it's contained within, it's confusing. And then there's receipts and different things that go with that. So the next one, Alpha Roofing, this is their first pay application. Their total is 190,831.60 with retainage it's 171,748.44. TPO, roof membrane, and metal materials installation and the bond are all included. That's the sum and substance of their pay app request. Ronesburg Plastering, pay application number 2. Total 38,710. Payment with retainage 38,847. This is what it ties to. Fluid barrier installation material, EPS installation and material, and then it ties to their change order number 2, our change order number 11, and that's where that total comes from. So we're glass. Stored materials total 11,684.45. It's payment due of 10,516. Glass and aluminum frames is what the stored material is. So if you look at that particular section, pictures.
Gosh, they sent their insurance policy, didn't they?
So I think all these companies have learned that we meet once a month and we go over this with a fine-tooth comb, so they want to provide all the documentation to support what their request is. Higgins Group, pay application number 3, their total is 97,704.34. Higgins, in case you're playing at home, filling in the boxes. This is drywall and framing. Current payment due with 10% retainage, $87,933.90, and that covers general conditions, exterior framing labor, sheathing labor, material, interior framing labor, interior framing material. Bitsum Commercial Flooring. This is their pay app number 1. The total 91,650, 10% retainage, 82,485. And this is all stored material for tile work, or tile work material, rubber tile material, LVT flooring material, carpet tile material, resilient base material, and the 595 tied to change order number 1, and that's our change order number 1 too. And if you want to know what that specifically ties to, these are all the things that are stored. 263 cartons of ceramic tile, 168 rubber tile, 48 cartons of luxury vinyl tile, 154 cartons of modular carpet tile, 35 cartons of resilient wall base. So it's pretty detailed in my opinion. Next one, pay app number 8 from Holly Jail. It's a combination of completed work and stored materials. Stored materials is the majority of what you have here. 326,1184. We'll cover what that ties to in a moment, and then completed work is 37,255. Holly Jail, if you're a member of the pods themselves, which will roll in beginning of November. November 11th. Stored material, modular cells, material 326,1184, and then completed work, engineering, project management, software programming, project management, general conditions, job incidentals. You add those two up, and that's where you get stored materials plus completed work. They'll ramp up here pretty quick. And then everything that ties to their stored materials, we've got pictures, and more pictures, and I've got a zip file that even has more pictures that's not even included here. But I mean, there's a lot of materials that are in play and sort of waiting in the wings for this project. McElroy's, payout number 7 for McElroy's, their total 227, current payment with 10% retainage, 204,300 for work completed. RTU splits, that's some HW coils, hot water coils,
Probably.
sheet metal material, plumbing above grade, sheet metal. If you've been out, you've toured the project, you know McElroy's has been busy, and that's where their amounts come from. Shelley Electric, 49,175, current payment 44,257.85. That ties to the following, all the things that are listed here: lighting material, power labor, low voltage material, temporary power, so on and so forth. That's the total. Skillman Construction, their pay app number 6. Haven't seen them in a while, but they came back. Current payment due 26,190,155. Before retainage 29,101.72. That deals with stored material for the storm sewer. And then there's a list of what those materials are directly behind, and that gets you through all of that for payout number 10. So, for payout number 10, I'd propose there be a motion to approve application certification for payment, application number 10 for period ending 9/30/24, submitted by River City Construction LLC in the amount of $1,748,706.50 for work completed, reference to Coffee County Law Enforcement Center project. The funds to come from the jail construction project fund, Fund 111.
I'll move.
I'll second it.
Well,
I'm writing them down. Any discussion on motion?
Okay. Done a good job of explaining all of it, and that's what we're supposed to do, so.
Wade handles that very well.
They put a lot of effort into that.
Any other motion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
We probably wanna have someone here to officially do that, though, just
Probably
Oh.
should.
Cheers.
Well, the other times we've just wrote them down, so. We don't wanna get in trouble. I just assume as long as it's recorded.
It's probably fine, but I don't want
her to get in trouble.
Well, I don't want somebody to get wound up because motions are being made and finalized and seconded without the clerk.
Do we need to go back through that? Is that okay?
So it's just the first motion
Just-
for pay
Yeah.
app number 10.
Yeah, I can go ahead and get that. I'm sorry, I had to take a call about the Thanksgiving dinner. Okay.
Good?
Got it?
Got it.
Alright. So now we're gonna go over change order 20. That's what's up on the screen. Ultimately, it's a request to take from contingency $13,411. It's tied to potential change order 23 and 33, mainly dealing with electrical changes. So myself and the sheriff and undersheriff went over this. This is tied to revisions related to fuse sizes for the electrical side and the walk-in cooler, right?
Yes, sir.
And if you look through this particular document, this is from Shelley Electric. For whatever reason, the original requested fuse sizes would not support what they're doing, and it had to be revised to meet the current needs of what's going to be put in the building. And I think that's the short answer. It's the best way I can describe it. Should it have been caught? I don't know. Sometimes once you get actually into the project itself, you realize what you thought you needed was something different. Is actually something different, and that's where this comes in. So
Who caught that to where it needed to be changed?
The electrician.
Electrician?
Yep, shot at the lead electrician.
This is one of the fields where should be possibly the responsibility that if they drew up all the information on it, almost stand part of it, if not all of it.
That's what I was trying to figure. I mean, they didn't know what size of the cooler, I mean, that, when they was designing it, they didn't know what size of walk-in cooler was gonna be there, I guess?
All I know is when I asked questions about it, when it came through, I had the same question as you had. They said that, I believe it's in Trova, the engineers that do all this for the entire project, just didn't have the right fuses in there. They have to be done, You know, it wasn't like we, you know, can't do it, we have to have it done. So we have paid for it anyway. Yeah, that fuses have to be changed.
Yeah.
So that's just the difference in these fuses that they put in now. So,
So you have the ability to pass on this one and request for explanation, which is fine. It's definitely frustrating to see change orders of this nature when you would
You hired
expect,
professionals to do it.
you would expect that these things are taken care of.
Those type of things should not be overlooked, in my opinion.
But as Sheriff says, regardless, we would have had to pay for it either way.
that's right, no matter what.
So, I mean, would have it been cheaper bidding it or changing it now? I mean, that is the question that we're
Right,
at.
right, because it says not just the fuses, it's including rerouting 2 4-inch conduits
Right.
in the
Yeah.
basement, yeah.
So, I mean, if it would have been caught prior to, you wouldn't have had to do all the rerouting, so it tells me that it would have been cheaper if it would have been caught and done correctly in the original.
Well, maybe they're not in yet either, though. I don't know whether the, says rerouting, maybe, I don't know that means that the conduits are already in place, just that something different, bigger probably.
That would be something that we don't know, I guess.
Right.
If the conduit was already present and they had to redo it, take out, I don't understand.
Is that the 2 4-inch conduits? Like, is that what that's talking about?
Yes.
So the 2 4-inch conduits, if you recall, came out on the very south end of the building, and were going to be used for the transformer and all electrical coming in. Well, once they decided they had to have all the IT and electrical coming through the IT room, then there was a separate conduit that they're going to bore into the side of that IT room to run all that stuff. So they don't need those 2 4-inch conduits. So that's what they're talking about when they have to reroute. It was just IT, you know, cabling, all of the coax coming in, all that stuff has to, the easiest way to do it is to bring it through the IT room, bore a hole in it.
For everything.
For everything.
So that takes the 2 4-inch conduits out.
Yes, that's what we're talking about, having to reroute, is they
Okay.
remove,
Okay.
basically cap those in case we'd ever need them, you know, 20 years from now, they put up a new tower, whatever someplace. They
Okay,
just cap those, but that's what we're talking about, is the rerouting.
okay.
Of course, they're deducting $2,314.
Right,
They're
right,
deducting that, we still got the issue of 13,411.
yeah. So,
On the
again,
size of the fuses, I
yeah,
got,
we saved a little money, you know, 27 grand or whatever it was for that, but yet we're gonna get done for 13, so.
Yeah,
And again, it had to be done, is what, you know, I'm told, it has to be done. You can't run the coolers, you can't run the,
I don't question that, Tom, I
Yeah.
just question the process that they missed the $13,000 deal.
there's a lot of things they've missed in this, you know, just because, whether it be, they didn't have an inlay over, they didn't get that bid sheet that had it on page 4 instead of 3, you know. And I'm not arguing that it's right or wrong, I'm just saying,
right.
it had to be done in, but this is not like they're dinging us for another 13,000 on top of something. It had to be done.
Yeah.
So you can ask for more information and clarification, which is fine.
We won't get any additional information, but
Well, what,
in my mind,
what was the original cost was $11,097, is that correct?
I think so.
I mean,
That's change order.
if we ask for more information on it, which we probably won't receive anything, is Cole or Ryan gonna do that, or that be the Goldberg?
So Cole
Because they're the ones. that-
Cole is the contact. It's a number of different people, and as you see in this particular document, you have the architect, you have Trova, and then you have Shelley. Cole is just the guy who reviews this and presents it. But I mean, if you look on here, this is sort of one of the areas that has the revision. And, I mean, the document as a whole sort of encompasses everything that's being done. This is a document from Introva right here, and it's internal within that same document. The documents you have, the document I have, references, for one, it's ESI 4, and it talks about, in the drawings, ground floor power full plan, revised power for walk-in cooler and walk-in freezer condensing units for submittal 114,000-04 roof power plan, added power for walk-in cooler and freezer condensing units and associated keynote number 3 for submittal, that same submittal. Electrical one-line diagram, revised electrical one-line diagram for submittal 237413-01. Electrical panel board schedules, revised panel board schedule. So when they do these things and when they have a question and it requires a number of different revisions to a number of different areas, and this is just one example of, unfortunately, what appears to be one small thing for a fuse change.
Basically 6 change orders for $13,000.
Yeah, to get it right. And is it what you want to see? Absolutely not.
This is very similar to what a question here about 4 or 5 weeks ago when Goldberg came in, and they, I forget Goldberg's daughter's name. Sydney. She said that she fully understood where we was coming from.
But,
That's a big word, but.
Right.
but what do you do?
Well, it sounds like we're getting more than what we planned to pay for
Well,
to begin with.
there's a plus side to that.
You know, I mean,
I don't like the way it's going.
I agree. I agree with everyone's concerns. I guess I'm in favor of going ahead with it, because I don't know what we're gonna really
Yeah.
accomplish by action.
I don't either, because it's something that we're gonna have to have.
I don't
If
like
it was-
it either. You know, I don't wanna say I don't disagree with you, but,
Well, Cindy didn't disagree either, but
yeah, she still had that butt in there.
we get another 5 or 6 of these before now in the finish, and as they get down to the fine tooth stuff, we'll probably see more of it.
It's anticipated, and Tom and Eric can correct me if I'm wrong, the major change orders have occurred already. The remainder are, if there's gonna be any, are expected to be smaller.
It'll be smaller dollars, I'm sure.
Right, and the major one that subtracted quite a bit from the contingency was the Sally Port change. And
Yeah.
that was $88,000, but if you look at where the contingency started and where it is now, I mean, it's, what, half?
Survived pretty well.
Somewhere around half, and
Yeah,
Right.
the window deal was about the biggest thing that I was disappointed.
That would have been something that I would have pushed back towards the contractor and say, you're using that difference.
Yeah.
That was what I wanted to do.
And our contingency fund's sitting at 366, which is basically half what was.
And if you put 88,000 back in that out of the general fund because that was owner change, it would be over 400,000. So.
Yeah, because we changed that.
Right. I mean, it was something that wasn't caught in the initial build, but Johnson caught it and said, this is not
Yeah,
gonna
we gotta
work.
have it, yeah,
So that would be an owner change, which
yeah.
come out of the contingency
Right,
fund that really
Right.
shouldn't have.
I suppose we need to just move ahead on it.
so,
Now that it crops up, I'll make a bigger issue.
well, with this particular change order, I mean, you had the opportunity to review it. It was sent out to you. If you wanna
Yeah.
explore more, that's fine. But otherwise, for change order number 20, I'm gonna go into 21, and I've sort of modified it to have one motion for change order 20, 21, and 22, so if you wanna remove one, that's fine, but that way, we're not repeating the same thing, and I'll read it once we get there, so.
Okay.
Now we're gonna go to change order number 21, change order number 21, I guess. The good news is it's a credit. And it's a credit of $11,889. So internally, within that change order, there's a credit for potential change order number 22 related to removing fire protection backflow preventer due to duplication in the contract documents and reducing the number of control valve assemblies from 8 to 2. And that's in essence what that encompasses. So if you use the reverse argument that you just had for the last one, well, this was included in the original plans and they caught it and said this needs to be removed because you don't need it. So, I mean,
It's give and take.
I think my opinion is they're trying their best to not.
Yeah, if they're giving us credit for something, this could have been overlooked if they'd have wanted to.
And this has to do with the sprinklers within the jail. And it was caught by, was it Ryan who caught it? So Ryan caught it and said, why do we need this? We don't need what you have there, and they looked into it and ended up agreeing.
Now, this is one of those deals where you argue one way, why don't you argue this way? But you won't argue this way because
It's credit.
So also within change order number 21 is potential change order number 24, and that's in addition, or deduction, so that's taking from the credit $10,457, and that's associated with plumbing, reworking plumbing pipe, adding plumbing for the drawings, plumbing changes, plumbing this and plumbing that. And specific to McElroy's, if you look at on page 8 of 27, proposed scope of work, added changes include PR 4.02 added work rework, P403 added waste for MOB basin, P4.12 added piping insulation and chases to fixtures, P4.16 added piping insulation and mezzanine for fixtures. These are changes that were not clear since we did not have plans for last PR 001 COR. So then it has the breakdown where that comes from, the materials, labor, whatnot. And there's an email from McElroy's to Cole from May of 24, and it covers the piping, and for whatever reason that plumbing piping wasn't included. I think it's diagrammed pretty well if you want to study that diagram. Or if anybody on the outside wants to do that, I mean, there's multiple pages, and where it's highlighted are some of the revisions that are needed.
there were several pages involved.
Yep, they blow them up, they bring them in, so I think catching these things before you can't go back and fix it is sort of the whole point in this process. And as they are getting things set up and put in place, they look at the drawings, and if you walk through the current structure and you look at things, you're like, is that where that should be? And then you go back and you look, and either they say, yeah, that's how it's supposed to be, or you brought something up. I know Tom does that, and Eric, they do that on a fairly frequent basis, and most of the time they're able to say, no, this is where it ties to. So there's a lot of work that goes in behind the scenes, more for Tom and Eric than me, but I'm involved as needed. So if you wanna look at these documents more in detail, anybody, good luck. So that's what this one is. The diagrams, they match up to what's being requested, the revisions that are being made. Obviously, it's a $22,000 credit is positive, and then it's basically shaved in half with the other changes that are needed, and that's change order 21. The last one,
They take it away.
last one, change order 22. This is a deduction from contingency of $18,031. Make sure my numbers are right.
Yes.
This is in reference to revisions associated with Poly Jail security and glazing changes. Tom, you could probably explain this one better than I can, right? Before Eric,
It's window glazing. So, for example, windows on the west side of the building, have a glaze put on them to keep sunlight out. There's security features in some of them. Anytime there's an outside window, it has a security glaze put on it. As you can see there, it says square footage on those. Some of those, like there's one that has, the second one has 27 point whatever square feet. And we changed that window from an S4 to an S8, if I'm reading that correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Some of those are for example, the heavy FEMA rated windows that we wanted to put in dispatch. Not some little, 3/8" glass, which it wasn't, I'm just exaggerating here. But the safety windows in dispatch that, if a tornado comes through here and hurricane, that building's still gonna be standing and glass is still gonna be in the windows. Some of this we made sure, when we originally got the bids, we looked through them, Eric and I did, and found that it was not security windows. And so we had some of those changes we want to put in there. And again, so there's a change order with it because they put in regular, non-security windows, for example. So there's security window changes or glazing that has to be put on them. Like all the windows in the pods are mirrored glaze, so an inmate can't see who's walking around from inside there. We can see in, but they can't see out, and that's a security feature. So that's what they're talking about. We're talking about glazing. It's put on some of the windows.
When you look at 146, it says 27 and a half, and we had a big question about that. How do you have 27 and a half square feet of glass in a door? So they went into it, they come back to us, and they let us know that what's happening there is you have the door, but you also have these side glass that go beside the door. So that's where you see a discrepancy in square footage on some of those.
It's not
We
just the
looked
door,
into them.
it's the windows beside it.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you got it. You got it on name tag, 155.1 is a savings of $2,000. What made that savings of $2,000?
I can't see which one it is.
155.1, about the fifth one down.
Yeah, right here.
What was that one?
155.
It's the main book in.
I'm just curious why you had, there's
Yeah,
that big
it doesn't come
credit.
to mind.
Yes.
That's fine.
Needed more of them.
and opening,
You need more of those changes.
Why is there only one?
and the numbers under opening tag, they all correspond to a door, right?
Yes.
Door or window.
That's, yeah.
It'll be room, like down below, room 180, door number 1 in that room. That's the way that.
Just so you know what those numbers are referenced to.
Yeah, H is holding cell. So, for example, H is a holding.
Holding
All-
door.
Yeah, all the 3-digit numbers are doors. There are some windows there it's associated with, but, what's the?
HD 1 and 2 are our padded rooms, so
Yeah.
they have a different type of glazing. We wanted that changed to,
That's where I'll be at.
Yeah.
We could all vouch for it.
So hopefully that helps explain that, and you see that, and that's a change, but a necessary change. And then this also included, some changes that I'm sure sheriff and undersheriff can explain some.
Titan steel doors, that's what they are. Some of these changes is, for example, in the padded cell, you know, you have somebody that's in a crisis and you put them in there to keep them from hurting themselves. We saw in other jails when we were out there 4 years ago looking at other facilities, would see that their windows, we would go look at their holding cells and their windows, you know, the small viewing window, look in there, is busted. And we said, what's going on here? How are these windows busted? And they said, well, you know, the person having a crisis is hitting it and they're busting. And so we talked to Poly Jail early on and said, we want that fixed. We want a thicker window put in there and a shutter that you can literally, a steel shutter that you can close to keep them from beating that glass out, breaking it, you know. And so some of these things you're seeing here are things that they now have to put in, and there was a change order because when they originally built them, they said they're going to have these thicker glasses with these security shutters on them, and that's what that is.
The bid itself is correct, it's just that you guys
An
found,
upgrade.
you just needed an upgrade.
We've told them that this is what needs to be done.
Right.
When the original build is done, they don't build that stuff. That comes from another contractor, you might say, that stuff is put on there, so that's what this is.
Some of it is our ignorance of looking at a drawing and not understanding that it isn't built that way to begin with, and then when it's explained to us, it's like, well, that can't work.
Right.
Food ports, for example. You know, every cell has a food port. You gotta be able to get food in to an inmate. If he's having a problem, you pass the food through a port. I mean, every jail in the United States has a food port. And some of these didn't have. And when we got done and got to looking at them, we said, that's got, you know, that's gotta have a food port on it. And so that's what some of this is too.
Right.
So that's what that document's about, and I think it describes things, again, in detail. There's some other things that are added towards the end that have to do with cameras, readers, different things.
That's accurate, isn't it?
Yeah, this is accurate.
Accurate does all security systems. So the computer programming, you know, for the control room person to open and close doors, strikes on doors that open doors automatically by the push of a button. That's what Accurate has, and that's what some of this is.
So the summary is the majority of the changes in this particular change order are changes or modifications at the request of the owner that have to occur that meet what the sheriff wants.
But on the other hand, though, too, in my eyes, I can see it being some oversight from Goldberg not to include the tray passing doors into the cells.
I don't think it's Goldberg. It's actually, again, it's either Nastroba or
Somebody, yeah. Once
So-
again, it pulls back to, if you're building jails, you know, you would think this would be a footnote at the bottom of somebody's cheat sheet saying, put passing tray doors in the jail cell doors. I mean,
Yeah, you
it's
get,
not rocket
you
science.
get a lot of big jails, but they don't do that. You know, they're bringing people out and bringing them to a mess hall
Mess
or
hall.
something.
I see.
We don't, you know what I mean? So some of these places want a padded cell, and they don't want a food port or a door on it.
In my eyes, those aren't jails, those are prisons that's going to the.
Some of those are, yeah, big lockdowns too,
Yeah.
you know. Those places in Dallas, Kansas City, Houston, wherever it may be, New York, you know, you've got thousands, tens of thousands of inmates in a facility. You know, that's not us. We want to be able, if you've got a problem, to have a food port. So
Right.
it's easy to put somebody right there and back them up, put handcuffs on, like you never have to go and put hands on, for
Exactly.
example. And we just felt that it was necessary that on these doors that we wanted, that they had food ports. Handcuff ports is what they call them. We call them food ports.
Multi-use.
That's right, that's right. So whether and again, you know, whether it's my fault for not going through all these, but you know, in the beginning, we were overwhelmed and couldn't tell what every single thing was. And we've learned over time, ask questions and they'll tell you, you know, right or wrong, they'll tell you. And we realized that we've got down to now the cells are going into some of these stuff, need ports and different glazing. It is what it is.
it boils down to the engineer, not asking that question. Just understand that's gonna happen.
Ready for me to start reading?
Yes, sir.
Motion for the board to approve and for the chairman to sign the following change orders regarding construction relating to the Coffee County Law Enforcement Center as approved by River City Construction. Change order number 20, approved September 16, 2024, with costs associated with potential change order PCO number 23 and 33 in response to ASI's 10 and 13 for electrical clarifications, which includes contract document revisions associated with ASI 010 electrical changes, including additional costs associated with the following: revised fuse sizes per page E6.01 and ASI 10, electrical for the walk-in cooler condensers, deduct $11,097, and which includes contract document revisions associated with PCO 33, including additional costs associated with the following: contract document revisions associated with ASI 13, including rerouting 2 4-inch conduits into the basement of the existing building, deduct $2,314, with a total of $13,411 to be deducted from the project construction contingency. Moving on, change order number 21, approved October 2nd, 2024, with costs associated with potential change order 22 and 24, which includes contract document revisions associated with PCO 22 with RFI 52 and changes per design request as marked up on the return submittal associated with removing the fire protection backflow preventer due to being duplicated in the contract document associated with reducing the number of control valve assemblies from 8 to 2, a credit of $22,346, and which also includes contract document revisions associated with PCO 24, including additional costs associated with the following: contract document revisions associated with PR-001, including reworking plumbing pipes per drawing changes issued after PR-001, added plumbing per plumbing drawings that follows PR-001, and changes that were not noted on the PR-001 narratives but were in plumbing drawings issued on 3/28/24, with a deduction for that PCO 24 in the amount of $10,457. The sum between the two PCOs, 22 and 24, ends up being a credit of $11,889 to be credited to the project construction contingency. And finally, change order number 22, approved October 2nd, 2024, with costs associated with potential change order 28 in response to contract document revisions associated with PR-008 and revisions associated with Polygill submittal review changes, including additional costs associated with the following: detention doors, glazing, and hardware. From the submittal, deduct $18,031 to be deducted from the project construction contingency, all with no change in the project guaranteed maximum price of $25,712,855. And that covers both change order 2021 and 22.
Okay. Motion was read. Moved by Counselor.
I'll second that.
Moved by McCray, seconded by Thompson. Any discussion? Speak now or forever hold your peace. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passed.
Good job, Amelia. Good job for us. Good job. Thanks, appreciate it.
I thought the desk was taking off.
I can say, no, it's not me.
Sounds like the dentist.
Yeah, sounds like a bad day at the dentist office.
It'll fall through the floor here in a minute.
Okay. Wade, that ends you?
That's the end of spending money for this.
Anybody need a break, or we wanna roll right into, we have a short 5-minute break? 5-minute break, we'll come back at, 5 minutes. All right, we're back. Quick little 5-minute break. 5 minutes goes fast.
It does.
We'll keep working on it.
And, the side door right here, the big door, also have access to that, right? Okay, because sometimes we just come in and need to go down the elevator.
I don't think there'd be an issue with that.
Okay, that's just gonna be like the lock on the outside of the door, making sure we have the.
And I think the only difference would be is when we're driving, moving. But that's actually, our days are trial days.
I don't.
Good, no need to bring nothing.
Okay, we're back in. Emergency Management Director Amber, you're up. After you sat down.
Morning.
Kind of a gruff morning for me. Good
Gruff?
morning.
Gruff? It's not gruff. Sun's shining
And the wind's blowing.
and the wind's blowing.
You got burn bay on?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yep, Randall put one on, early this morning.
Okay.
Tim and I will be attending the FEMA Regional Assistance Committee, the RAC meeting in Independence, Missouri this week. I've been here 21 years, and I always thought that RAC stood for Radiological Assistance Committee, but it doesn't. So, it goes to show you learn something new every day, whether you've been here 20 years or not. Basically, this is the RAC meeting is all the radiation people in FEMA Region 7 come to this meeting. They come together and talk about all things radiological. It's made up of nuclear plant personnel, emergency managers, and state agencies from Iowa, Missouri, Kansas, and Nebraska. So it's a pretty good meeting to attend. I don't know who wants these or those overnight stay things.
We just initially move them all around.
They have that on an annual event.
Mm-hmm.
Do they rotate states?
No, they haven't because FEMA Region 7's main office is in Kansas City, so they kind of just keep it close to there.
So you're going where now?
Independence, Missouri.
Independence, Missouri?
Mm-hmm.
And your overnight stay is,
Don't say you don't know.
your overnight stay is somewhere else?
No. No, that's right. That one. Independence, Missouri. No, that's my next one.
Oh,
That's coming up.
Oh,
So I'd have to bring you another one. That's December's meeting.
okay.
Tower update. Scott and Martin continue working with Wade and the cities and the private landowner on the lease agreement. They hope to have those done soon. Coffee Health System preliminarily passed their FEMA evaluated exercise on October 9th. The FEMA evaluator said gold star, so in my book, that's pretty darn good. I want to thank all the hospital staff for working with us to make that a success. They worked pretty hard to make sure that they passed that exercise. Siren in Leroy is still down. We're still waiting on parts. Martin was going to call the guy this morning and see where that part is, but as of right now, still down on Siren in Leroy. I don't think I have anything else as far as updates. I've been working with Wade on some changes to the old jail remodel because we wanted to be able to have the same access to all the doors that we have now. When dispatch leaves, my office is going to be the only office down in the basement, but we still need access to the elevator and to the doors and the inside stairwell and the back stairwell. So some of the plans kind of made it a little difficult for us, but I've been working with Wade and I think he's got it figured out. So I would just reiterate that in the future, when anybody does a remodel, let's make sure that we involve all the people that it affects, because I didn't know that these changes were being made. Initially, when I had talked to the sheriff, I had told him what I wanted and what I needed access to, and that didn't get communicated to everybody that was working on this project. So, in the future, let's just all kind of work together.
And we didn't probably know as well.
Yeah. So there's no use for that elevator for anybody but my office now. The back elevator by the EOC, yeah, and the back stairwell, and the outside stairwell. Those are all for EOC purposes for my office, and janitorial too. They use them. So, but those are also locked down areas. My EOC area is locked down so that we have secured area. Plus the boiler room's down there. Plus we have our radio storage. Everything is kind of secured down there. So upstairs doors were kind of open to the public, and the elevator was open to the public, if you look at the drawings. So I just wanted to make sure that we took care of that. So, and I think Wade's got it figured out. So. Anybody have any questions for me?
Did you do any checking to the tower at Homestead and 50?
No, I didn't. I've got it written down on a sticky, but I haven't looked at it.
Well, I mean, it's
Probably built now?
No, I mean, they're fixing on going up. I mean, it's there.
Was the pad poured?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, the anchors are all there. I even think the tower's laying there.
And that was Old 50 and Homestead, right?
I mean, my only thinking was, would it be cheaper to jump on with somebody else versus putting up $1 million tower?
Well,
But
we looked at that, and what happens when they decide to take that tower down?
right,
That was the major concern that the radio committee had was, what happens when your lease is up with the people and they decide, we don't need this tower anymore. Kind of like that Mediacom tower up by Gridley. It's there forever, but if the landowner decides to take it down, they can take it down, no matter what's on it. So when you have your own tower, you have the say on who goes on it and when it comes down and what happens. So, but I definitely want to look at all.
well, I mean, I don't know, has the tower's already been ordered?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, is it a mute point, is my
Maybe
question.
not.
I mean, I didn't know if they could be, if one could be canceled. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I look into everything. So, I have a sticky note about that to look it up, but I haven't looked up to see who it was yet.
I would think, they've done something with Heidi, I would think.
I have asked numerous times that when towers are built, that I get notified of them pretty immediately for this reason, because we can put anything we want on there, if it's a internet thing or if it's a siren or whatever. So I've asked for those, and I don't think I got this one. So I'll have to check with her to see if she has paperwork on it.
Okay.
Because yes, they should go through zoning. Everything that goes up in this county should go through zoning. Even houses in the Amish community need to go through zoning. So yes, I will get on that sticky again. So.
Gotcha.
Any other questions? Oh, I did want to end on kind of a happy fun note, to remind everybody and give some insight to the public as to why county employees might be dressed a little funny this week. And I see that some of you already know that we're doing Spirit Week for Halloween. Today is Pink It Out Monday for Breast Cancer Awareness Day. Don has his pink shirt on. You've got yours. Tuesday is going to be Time Travel Tuesday, dressed in your favorite decade. So,
That'll be interesting.
yeah. Wednesday's Wild Wild Wednesday, wear your Western wear. Thursday is Halloween, wear a costume. And Friday is Freaky Friday, dress like another coworker. So, Just wanted to bring that up in case the
That'll
public.
hurt somebody's feeling.
Yeah, right. Might. Wanted to bring that up in case the public wondered why we were all dressed so funny. No other questions? Thank you,
I
guys.
dress up for Halloween every day.
On the court side renovation, my understanding is, Goldberg is waiting on the green light from the judge regarding some of the revisions. And the revisions on that side are significant. One of the significant revisions is to basically rebuild or revise the current small courtroom to the point where it will have an sitting area in the back and could sit and hold a small, I guess a misdemeanor 6-person jury trial if needed. And if you didn't know, on Wednesdays, both courtrooms are utilized and used. If there's a trial going on in the big courtroom and you have to have any sort of docket in the small courtroom, it's not ideal. You need to have something different. And that, we had a civil jury trial where we also had to hold criminal court, and it was, we managed, but it's not ideal, and it's not very conducive to hold anything, any type of evidentiary hearing or anything otherwise. I mean, for Zoom and different things like that, it works, but part of that renovation includes that, and then the major piece is the secure corridor going from what will be the new jail into the courtroom, and having the ability to manage that inmate population in a safe way is a big part of that. So that secure corridor is a significant component of that revision, in my opinion.
How often do you have those types of bottlenecks of court needing to renovate a whole new mini courtroom, I guess is what you're basically saying, correct?
Yeah, well, there's an existing courtroom, it just is not ideal, and part of the renovation included revising and renovating that courtroom to make it bigger and to be able to have public access in a safe way. So if you go to court presently, on Wednesdays as a prime example, you have 2 courts going at the same time, and the hallway that goes from the lobby area to that small courtroom is problematic from a safety reason. I guess I don't want to go too much in depth, but is that a fair way of saying it? You have
It's a security issue, yes.
you have vulnerabilities that need to be taken care of and addressed, and this renovation will address those vulnerabilities. It's a pretty good non-answer, right?
Yeah, great. You danced all around that one. At least you didn't step on my toe, we're good.
We spoke to the public when we were selling this, with the ad hoc committee, when we were talking to the people that had to be voted on, and one of the big issues and selling points was this secure corridor and the safety we would have from that building into this courthouse. And so it's just imperative that be done. This courtroom's gonna be done, and it's in the plans. Those security features need to be put in place.
So is that your 10:15 discussion?
No, sir, it's not.
Okay, come on up, you're up next.
If you got somebody else do it, I need to go in executive session.
Oh,
So you can pull somebody else and do whatever you need to do. You can float me in any time.
looks like Amelia's got an executive session.
How about this young man right here? Does he want to talk?
Well, I'm gonna say he's probably, last I knew, probably has an executive session as well, don't you? So I guess we might as well just go down the line and start the executive session hour.
I need 15 minutes if you're asking me. Pitt County Commission, Wade, myself. -minute executive session, the board
Counselor or attorney?
Public counsel.
Counselor,
Yeah, counselor.
sheriff. Executive session discussion topic is
Courthouse security.
non-elected personnel, no?
No,
Courthouse
there's-
security.
So there's a specific provision that deals with security, and it can be security for, a facility we've gone in before for the jail, and to discuss particular items that may, if disclosed, jeopardize the safety of either citizens or, employees, and it's under that particular provision.
Correct.
And we don't use it very often. Let me pull it up so you have unless you have it there, Angie.
I have it right around the corner, but the computer just went in.
Give me just a minute.
Is it in my book? It probably is in my book, 'cause it's on executive session.
I think I got it right here. Okay, security, yeah, it's number 12. Yeah, that way,
What's the first part of that?
754319. To discuss matters relating to security measures or jeopardize such security measures that protect a public body or agency.
Yep.
12A. Or public building, facility.
Yes, so it would be under, discussion of such matters in an open meeting would jeopardize such security measures that protect, under A, it would be under C, a public body or agency, public building or facility, or the information system of a public body or agency. And just so people are aware, security means measures that protect against criminal acts intended to intimidate or coerce the civilian population, influence government policy by intimidation or coercion, or to affect the operation of government by disruption of public services, mass destruction, assassination, or kidnapping. Security measures include but are not limited to intelligence information, tactical plans, resource deployment, and vulnerability assessments. And this particular topic covers, what would you say, vulnerability?
Yes.
I think you'll find during the discussion that to disclose what the sheriff wants to talk about is specific to that vulnerability assessment related to the courthouse.
Okay. Whatever all he said. All in favor, say aye.
Moved.
So hold on, moved.
I'll move. I'll second.
Moved by Meach, seconded by McCurry. Here we go.
Now the eye for it.
Now the aye part. All in favor, say aye. Aye, motion passes. We'll enter at 10:31 for 15 minutes. It's 10:29. Thanks for keeping me in line, Andy. All right, okay. No action taken. You done, Mr. Johnson?
I am, sir.
Okay. Health Department Administrator, Amelia, you're up.
Morning, guys.
Morning.
I'm going to provide a quick update with the health department if you guys would like, or just go ahead and go on to executive session.
Updates are good. That's the happy part.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are starting week 3 of our renovation process. Week 2 at the end, we had completed, week 2 was last week, we completed the demolition phase with the exception of 2 doors. We were just waiting for our door and trim works to come in, which we did receive a date and time, which would be today between 1 and 3, so that will be delivered. Tomorrow our sheetrock will be delivered, so we'll start putting up the walls. They do have the temporary framing up, so it's all good news. I think we are right where we need to be with the construction.
Good.
Got a target date on completion, do you?
I'm sorry, what was that?
You got a target date on completion?
First week of February. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I was thinking at one time this was January 1st.
Yes, it was supposed to, but they had to push out the completion date just because of the lead time on the doors and the framework.
Very well.
Right.
And you got a 20-minute executive session with the board, yourself, and county counselor? Motion for 20-minute executive session, non-elected personnel, job performance, the board, county counselor, and health department administrator Amelia Merchant.
I'll move.
I'll second that.
Moved by McCurry, seconded by Thompson. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We will enter at 10:53 for 20 minutes, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
That means you don't see it anymore than you do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what Dad says.
Amelia, how long would the mental health take?
I'm hoping 15 or 20 minutes the most.
How long is your executive session, Sammy?
I think we need 20 minutes. Does that sound about right here?
Want to do Amelia and the sheriff stuff now, and they can take off?
That'd be good.
You okay with that?
If that works for them.
Yeah.
Okay, that way they can leave, and then
Yeah,
we
yeah.
can do the 30-minute,
Yeah.
or 20-minute deal.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna skip around a little bit. Mental Wellness Board members, Health Department Administrator Amelia, and Sheriff Tom Johnson, bylaws and board member recommendations.
Alright, what are you doing, guys?
Oh, no action taken on last executive session as well.
So I did bring copies of the bylaws for the Coffee County Mental Wellness Board. There you go. So the purpose of the bylaws is so that we can proceed with meeting as a Coffee County Mental Wellness Board and just to have some guidelines and regulations on how to perform actions, when to perform actions. I did provide a copy of the bylaws to you guys. We are presenting them to you to see if you guys are okay with them and to approve or request changes.
I would assume our county counselor has already reviewed these bylaws,
Yes. He's been involved in things,
put his stamp of approval on them.
I don't know if that's simply approval, but he's been present and, had us make changes.
There have been a number of changes in the membership, who's a member, what terms of membership should be. Basically, the leaders are the sheriff and Amelia. They're also Amelia's responsible for the purse strings, since it is funded by county, it is taxpayer money.
funded.
Included provisions regarding open meetings and what's required there. So the last meeting, it was noted stuff in case somebody wanted to attend, all the things that go with that. It's a cross-section, if you look on page, what page is that, where it has the members?
Page 4, 3 or 4?
They're starting on page 3.
Yeah.
So, nine members, it includes USD 245, 244, 243, the chief judge of the Fourth Judicial District or a designee, the county attorney or a designee, community mental health provider, a member of the local health system, someone from the, what am I missing?
You,
So the chairman, so that would be whoever is the public health administrator, which those were already appointed a couple weeks ago, and then the vice chairman, which would be the sheriff and or designee,
Yep.
which the chairman and vice chairman have already been motioned and approved.
It's gonna be a good board that will have some very, good ideas to bring to this board, but ultimately recommendations will be made by the mental wellness board to bring to this board before any expenditures are made, which is a key feature since it's taxpayer money.
Do we need to have any liaison from the Board of Commissions to be the liaison of this board like we do with the zoning, planning, and fiber board and every other board we got?
I mean, you can, it doesn't necessarily need to be in the bylaws, that's something
Okay.
you can make a decision on, but to get this board up and running, these bylaws are a predicate step, and then
Be
that
something.
would be addressed later on.
I just know it's helpful, you know, especially like the fiber board that I'm on, you know, it's helpful to know what they're doing, know what they're going through, and then if they should happen to come in and visit with the board, I too know what's going on and maybe can explain it a little better into our terms versus the computer terms, terminology and so on and so forth, so. It is nice, sometimes the zoning and planning gets a little monotonous, but the fiber board stays pretty interesting, so something to maybe look at later on. I'm good with the bylaws as long as the attorney is
You
looking
think
at
they're
it.
suitable?
that, what they're, by you approving the bylaws and getting that done, that we can get our people appointed. They've been showing up. Of course, we can't do anything because, you know, we haven't been an official board yet. So as soon as you approve that, hopefully today you approve that, we can get our people officially titled and set down and we can start working. So there's things that we already are talking about, need to be talked about and discussed and voted on for the board.
I don't know why it says we have some problems, it says.
Or you just Steve dropped that one and busted it. It's all based on your stuff, Steve.
I mean, I can.
It's like when all the honeybees send the
Yes,
message to the other.
absolutely. Cost millions of dollars to take the one Steve busted.
I didn't slam it on the desk.
But then Don said, man, he broke it the week
Yeah, right.
before.
Month before.
That was a good one. Look over there, Steve.
Go through every time. I don't pass these out,
Angie's got the motion up here. It says, based on the recommendation of the mental health board members, Sheriff Tom Johnson, Health Department Amelia Merchant, and County Councilor Wade Bowie, the second as a forum to approve the bylaws of Coffee County Mental Wellness Board.
Also move.
I'll second. Moved by Meeks, moved by Meeks, seconded by Knight. Any discussion?
So you probably want to have somewhere on,
Add the date,
add the
September
date, so that
26th.
and then have a signature for the chairman. Maybe you can just draw a line, or if you want to have everybody sign it.
Effective when?
September 26th, the dated, amended September 26th, 2024.
That's a pretty graph on that.
Yeah, drew a beautiful graph.
On there, yeah, I don't know what, unless there's a problem with that.
Those lines are straight as
That's close.
You did pretty good. Yeah.
I got my glasses on. Okay, with corrections, adding the effective date. I still second and still good, Don, for the move. Still move with the correction of the date, September, they did
Should be
September
28.
20, says
Today's
September,
the 28th, isn't it?
well, it's September, says September
So it
26th.
does say September. Okay, yeah, fine.
Me still move, I still second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. We've signed it before we.
Yeah, what he said.
You want this?
You don't like it?
Yeah.
I think the date is where the confusion is. So the document was amended, as amended, September 26, 2024, but it's effective today,
Today.
October.
Effective today.
Okay.
So what you're reading, it's as amended on September 26th.
Angie added that.
But it
But
has to be
effective today?
It's effective today.
Right. That, I think that's where the confusion.
Yeah.
It was good in my mind, we was approving the amended side, but it was being effective today, is regardless what she had. I mean, that's what I was.
Yeah.
Okay, that was quick and painless.
Yeah, pretty easy.
That way, the next person that comes along and asks me for a copy, I have a copy.
Okay, sounds good.
When you did, remember?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next time you wanna tear up something, call me before you get angry and slam stuff
I will.
down. Cell phone and just come talk to me. I'm easy to talk to.
So do we need to go ahead and approve the other requests them to approve your members?
That's what I said, if you, do you need to approve the members that we're bringing up, that we have setting, you know, that are ready to take office?
In my eyes, what do we know about, I mean, you guys are the ones that are running the deal, why would we be in?
So if we can appoint members, we can officially appoint them, the 9 members, you know, for the other 7 members. And we can appoint those, and we can give you documentation showing who we appointed if you'd like to see that.
What's y'all's feeling on?
I think it's up to these folks to.
They'd be the best.
They'd be the
but
best.
Are we being consistent though?
I think so I think the way the bylaws are written in this particular board is the recommendations are made to this board because they're specific to certain, I mean, they have to be a member of the health department, local health system, they have to be a member of community mental health, so that's a little different than somebody just applying.
Yeah, we're not taking general.
You only have one sheriff or designee, you only have one county attorney, you only have, so all the people who would fit those roles have been identified. I think,
We got 3 school superintendents that take care of it.
Yeah, right.
well, I don't know if there's superintendent.
Yeah,
There is a superintendent, but there's other representatives.
Yeah, therefore they'll choose one.
Yeah, so all those positions have been vetted and selected ahead of time. So my position would be, they would recommend the individuals to you to fill those roles. And then if there's ever a vacancy, same recommendation process, and if you look at, what is it?
They're almost predetermined.
Page 4 at the bottom.
Again, yeah, we felt that we need somebody from each school board, not one person over all the schools. Let each school come in, you know, that's why we have 9 total, so.
Yeah.
For example, mental health board member, board member number 3 is, you have the,
So that is Amy Booster.
so Amy Oshner, who we have set for that.
And
Mental-
we did,
Go ahead.
So with the CHS, the Coffee Health System one, we did collaborate with the chief executive team within the hospital because there was a couple of members on the board previously for the hospital, but they helped seeing who is most fit for that position, just because she does offer services through the hospital for mental health.
Number 4 is a member that shall be employed by one of the community's mental health service providers, and that is.
Lucas Moody, and he's with Crosswinds.
Number 5, mental wellness board members should be a member as elected to the Coffee County Attorney and/or as designee. Number 6, the board member shall be a member that holds a seat as the chief judge in the 4th Judicial District, which is Judge Wine. 7, next member shall be a member employed by USD 243, and that is.
Superintendent Dwayne Ford.
Number 8 is the board member shall be employed by 244.
That is Lindsay Graff, and she does provide services for the students.
And number 9 is 245.
And that's Amber Jewell, and she does also perform services for the student population.
So that's the 9 board members. If you approve those, we'll get them in play. They've already been coming to our meetings, set up.
Yeah.
We've just done that, to get them in, I guess.
Right.
That's how you approve, then we'll get them officially appointed, I guess, and move on down the road.
Say, there be a motion to approve the adopted mental health board members as recommended by the chairman and vice chairman of the mental health board.
She's typing. I'm reading.
So, Steve, was it the noise that Amelia is making in there that caused you to throw down?
It was. It was all, yeah, it was.
Okay.
I charge it to the health department.
Yeah.
We just charged for that.
Right. One more added thing.
Might as well make the best out of it.
Right.
Motion to approve the adopted mental health board members as recommended by the chairman and vice chairman of the mental health board.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Moved by Thompson, seconded by McCurry. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, guys.
Welcome.
Thank you for
Thank
your
you.
time.
Yeah, take care.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for your efforts.
Thanks.
Good.
Thanks, gentlemen. It's all yours.
Aye.
All right.
Second cut all day.
Yeah. Yeah. It's almost done, I hope. Yeah. I think we actually have some in our,
Get these guys.
Right.
Okay. We'll do our 11:05 at 11:32. CFS Engineering, Saban Yanez, and GGA Representative Garrett Nordstrom, Development Funding.
GAS, right, Governmental Assistance Services, I messed up.
Oh, sorry.
I got,
I just read what was on my piece of paper.
I I put it on there.
It's all right. For Rick, whoever.
I can go ahead and get started. Just, it was a request to maybe have some executive session time with you all to cover some, I'll call it some details with the development project for the SSM project at the airport that I think could create an opportunity for the county, but it involves both all the aspects of the project, so I thought this might be best in executive session to help you guys, get you guys informed with what we've learned and go from there.
This be Financial Affairs of the Corporation?
Yes, it would be.
You'll step on back here.
SSM being the corporation?
SSM is the corporation involved, yes.
I seen his funny looks on his face over there, so.
Well, so,
Well, and I should say, I guess I would add too, that it's SSM, it involves the public-private partnership that was involved in funding the project. So,
okay. So without SSM being here, unless you guys are representing, you're sort of a conduit between the two, is my understanding. I just wanna make sure, don't go in and it be a problem, because financial affairs of SSM, but without more, I get concerned about somebody wanting to come in and make an issue that you went into an illegal executive session to discuss something that deals with the expenditure of taxpayer money, or how, should be discussed in an open session. So I'm trying to narrow it down, so if there's scrutiny, I can address it. Does that make sense?
it does, it makes sense to me, I don't,
Can I step out with both of you, and maybe you can kind of give me, because I don't know all the
yeah, that
background
would
details.
be happy to do that, happy to do that.
Make sure we're good.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that.
Next time. You guys want lunch? Angie called down to the Subway place. I was looking at her timeline, we got 1 o'clock. We got checks and vouchers. We can either do checks and vouchers after our economic development, interviews or
Yeah.
whatever. If we take lunch, I mean, we should be done with these guys by noon, so we could take lunch. So I just didn't want to.
Either way, I'm fine with it.
Either way, I'm good with, I would just,
Makes me no difference.
yeah, it makes me no difference.
I think we'll just probably break for lunch.
Okay,
Okay,
check.
but thank you.
And Tom never has gotten back with me, so I'm guessing he's not gonna be involved in the application interview process.
They got the forms up on that SSN building. I don't think the rebar was in it yet. I just drove by yesterday.
I saw that.
Don't think the rebar was in it yet. So at least
They
you're
had
getting.
part of the floor, they had part of the floor poured last week sometime, but I don't.
Well, they did.
I bet they had half of it poured.
They could, they had quite a bit of pipe sticking up out of it. Evidently, I didn't look at it quite close enough. I didn't think any of it was full. I drove Highway 50. I was in Lebo the other day for volleyball. Drove Highway 50 the other day. They're doing a pretty smooth job with their blacktop.
Yeah, they had a little issue there by John Davies's roller got on the asphalt a little too early.
They dug out about 200 yards or 100 yards or dug out an area, I don't know, 8 or 10. Now, when they mark that with white, they're gonna bring it in 2 feet like we talked about.
They can't, they gotta put it out.
Oh, they can't.
Certain width road because of the grant funding from the state for the dangerous rural roads. I tried to let them bring it back in original width of the original road, but where it's a state funded thing, but it doesn't happen.
I see.
And I could see, you know, they bring that back in 2 feet like it was here 50 years ago. It wasn't very wide. People driving and then all of a sudden they're gonna meet somebody, pull out a little bit. It might not be the safest thing either, if the white stripe was in.
Use the shoulder where you need the shoulder to meet people and to pass people and drive in the lane that it was designed,
Right.
it was designed for. That was my theory, so.
Right.
Well, then that has had a lot of equipment along that way.
Yeah.
A lot of equipment involved in that.
So as they fix the shoulders then, are they gonna be stronger or?
Yeah, I think they're gonna be good. I think it's gonna be good. It'll last a long time. I'm confident in it anyway.
I haven't been on the East 50. What's it look like, Steve, for a year, maybe, probably at least a year?
It's good.
Yeah, and then Franklin
And then
County
Franklin County
redid.
is,
I haven't been in Franklin County.
they're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, they paved it all the way to Williamsburg.
Yep. And Franklin County is really needing it.
Oh, gosh.
My gosh.
And Lyon County needs it too.
Yeah, I know.
Mercy sakes alive.
I haven't been into Franklin County.
Sign these, I sign the checks.
This punch here, well, it didn't take long to get this voucher out to, River City, didn't it?
Yeah, no. Not long ago.
Some of these, Dawn, to go in this folder.
Hey, and Steve has the last one for that yellow folder.
This is
That's it. Is there a green?
Are we done?
I have a better understanding. So after discussion, I believe the more appropriate executive session ties into an attorney-client discussion between myself, the board, David and Garrett regarding the discussion related to the contractor agreement that ties to the CDBG grant, SSM, and account. And there are legal issues that have arisen regarding that particular agreement, and David needs to be included in that discussion because he is the engineer that's been working on behalf of the county regarding that particular development, and Garrett is the administrator who's been assigned monitoring and vetting that on behalf of the county with the State Department of Commerce. That's the best way to. So for those reasons, they need to be included as well because they have some specific information to present to the board that deals with those agreements. And just in the overarching theme, this is specifically tied to the road development grant, CBDG grant that the county has to build that road at the SSM just north of the airport. Is that a fair way of saying that?
Yes,
So that's a lot of words, but the main thing is to discuss some legal issues surrounding that particular development agreement and grant.
For 20 minutes?
I think 20 minutes would be fine. I think so.
What Wade Drury said, to include all of us and them, I will move.
I'll second.
Been moved to second, any discussion? Moved by Knight, seconded by McCurry. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. We'll enter at 11:46 for 20 minutes.
Who seconded?
I did.
Okay. Yeah.
Pay all these taxes.
Hell, man.
Okay, we're back and we're on.
Highlight summarized update is the CBDG grant process tied to the SSM frontage road by the airport. Some legal, what I'll characterize as legal wrinkles have arisen that will require that original agreement to be revised and then brought back before the commissioners for resubmittal and review. It does not necessarily change the underlying intent of the agreement for the CBDG monies, but there are some specific terms and terminology that have to be revised to meet some requests of the state. Is that a fair way of? So when that occurs, the anticipation would be to have that revised agreement brought back before the board. It'll be sent to me ahead of time, and then resubmitted, re-signed if approved by the board, and it will probably be a whole lot more clear next week when that's brought back. And at the same time, the hope would be that the bids and review of those bids will be presented for the board to take into consideration, hopefully make an award. Is that a fair summary?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
See you next week, sounds like.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. That's the end of our agenda. Well, not really. We've got checks and vouchers. We got 2 interviews starting at 1 o'clock, 1 and 1:45.
Are you sitting in on them, Wade?
Yes.
Yes.
Starting and Rhonda as well.
Yeah, right, I forget it.
And Tom said if he was able to show up for that, he'd text me. I have not received any text messages from him saying he would be present for the interview, so it's just be us four and Wade and Rhonda and interview candidate 5 and candidate 1. So, other than that, we'll all break for lunch. Break for lunch? Okay.
Where's the interviews gonna be?
Interviews will be downstairs in the basement. We better be back here by, 12:55?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we'll resume, we'll recess until 12:55. Recess at 12:12 until 12:55.
No four-course meal today.
No. No. You can take that if you want, because I've got one for today, it's all I need.
Well, I've got some somewhere I remember, but
I get mine together.
I need to go through my,
It's 12:55, we're back in session.
Oh, sorry. I just shut that, Steve. I never seem to remember doing that.
1 o'clock candidate for economic development. We have a schedule change. One of the candidates backed out, so we're only interviewing one today and then one on the 4th, I think, isn't it?
I can't remember.
Yeah. Only interviewing two.
Back out today, or the whole project?
Done. Backed out.
Backed out completely.
Backed out completely.
Yeah, so we just have 2 candidates
Yeah.
at this point.
Just 2 candidates at this point.
Okay. Been nice, we've had 4 or 5 candidates.
Well, we did.
It kept all like.
Yeah. 4 or 5 viable ones. That's what we should.
Right.
Yeah. Would be nice.
We're doing candidate number 5 today. You can read that when I go downstairs. Please.
Yep.
What are we doing? 40 minutes probably? 30 minutes? How do we do that?
So you've normally been allocating about an hour, so about 40 or 45 for the actual interview itself, a little bit of time to get back up. That gives you time to ask the questions, for them to ask their questions, and then kind of go.
So we only got one today, we can go as long,
Yeah, however long you
but
want.
we have to have.
You gotta give the time when we're
Yeah,
coming back,
yeah.
I guess, right?
I think it's
I'd
like
say-
45 minutes.
I'd say 40 minutes. And if you need more time, you can always.
I think that's what we did before.
I'll just set 45 minutes.
Yeah, I think that'd be good.
Surely, you guys. Surely.
Yeah, 'cause it is gonna take us a couple minutes to come back.
And we've only got one to do today, then we'll start doing checks and vouchers, so.
Yeah, finish that up.
And then I'll have a couple things in roundtables that are not executive session. So
Okay.
Well, I guess we can walk that way. 45 minute, do we need to, is it an executive session?
Yeah.
45 minutes.
behind closed doors.
45-minute executive session to interview applicant for economic development, applicant number 5.
Yes.
For 45 minutes, include the board, county counselor, and Rhonda Truelove.
Right.
The interim economic development.
Interim, yeah.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Moved by Thompson, seconded by McCurry. Any discussion?
It's non-elected,
Non-elected personnel?
because it's to interview applicants for economic development director.
I kind of said that, didn't
I
I?
know, but you didn't mention what it was under.
Right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
See you in 45 minutes.
Oh, the whole body broke it.
Need a string tied to the doorknob when I'm walking down, so I remember. I never remember shut the door.
Or Casey and tell her we need it.
Oh, that was fast.
Yeah. Jesse went that way to find you.
Me?
Gotta find somebody.
Sorry, I'm here.
Circling.
It's all right. We're, going to go back for same people for another 20 minutes.
Okay.
Starting at, do we need a motion? We don't need a motion, do we?
Yes.
Oh,
Also move.
I'll second. Moved by me, seconded by Knight to do an extension of 20-minute executive session of the board. The same people named on the previous executive session.
Same reason.
Same reasons. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. We'll enter at 1:50 for 20 minutes.
Okay.
It's 1:48, 1:49 right now. The elevator next time. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you guys are making me tired.
I'm just gonna go ahead and shut it.
I know.
Oh my, there's another, there's 3 things on there. There's, wish Nathan had put something down on his. I can,
All right, we're back. Waiting on Wade, and we'll hit round table, and then we'll do more checks and vouchers.
My favorite.
Wade got lost going down, and he got lost coming back. I guess we start with Angie, she's got some round table.
Well, one thing, today that letter came in for Coffee County Transportation wanting to, request a letter of support with the grant they're looking for. Do you want me to go ahead and send something?
Well, I was gonna kind of question that a little bit, because I'm assuming they already have the funding in their budget.
This would be
Matching funds.
Just a reference letter.
2025 to 2026. They have to do it in advance of the
Right.
following budget year.
But I just wanted to make sure that we had the, because it talks about match funds.
That's from the state, isn't it?
Well, they want to know the budget amount approved that you guys approved for 2025, which
We already.
we already did here this summer. We took care of that. So then they're submitting another application to the state of Kansas to continue their operating assistance grant they get from the state.
Okay.
So
I was just, I read into it as there was matched funds, and I just wanted to make sure that they had it budgeted in their budget, that it wasn't going to come out of our general.
Well,
No,
first,
it would not be any more coming out of,
Okay.
Yeah, I
I mean,
think it
they
should
have their
start
budget and that's it.
Okay.
if we state
like a
on the,
reference.
if we state that we've got plenty of funding money, is that gonna shut them down for helping us out?
It's just, it's us
There's
requesting that.
There's no grant,
They're just trying to get more they're trying to get their grant funding.
And all we're doing is just a letter of support.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just a stamp,
And
kind of
they-
a stamp of approval is how I
Right.
see it.
It might be something they do every year.
I think I've signed it
Okay,
before,
Yeah.
but I think we have to have
I'll look for a previous one.
authorization directed to the chairman to sign the grant letter.
I'll have it ready for next week. How about that? Okay. I got everything with the Thanksgiving dinner squared away, so we will have,
saying you had turkey on it, so.
yes. So the menu items, it's gonna be the turkey, I think loaf he called it, we had it a couple years back, or whatever, and it wasn't bad, it was pretty good.
Okay.
That, the ham,
Green beans.
green beans, potatoes, dinner rolls, butter, salad, and pie. And I got all that.
That's hog man.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
believe it.
that, you guys had to alternate between those every,
Yeah.
Turkey man this year. Well, I guess he got ham. in
He
there,
got
so-
ham, man.
It's a turkey.
It's a turkey, what are they, what's he charging now?
it looks like it's gonna be, $14 a plate. per person.
You can't hardly go to McDonald's without $15.
I know.
That's about
Yeah.
right.
Definitely.
And you won't get pie either.
Yeah, you won't get pie either.
You won't.
Okay. And that is when? Thanksgiving dinner is the
21st on a
21st.
Thursday. I look at that
Did
calendar
manage to get
again.
that down to March and he did.
I got that wrote down.
Good.
And I got a reserve,
Sale.
The
4-H
4-H
building. Yeah. Okay, I'll get that reserved and then we're all set.
Okay.
We still have advanced voting going this week through next Monday at noon. It'll stop. And then of course election day, so I'll be out delivering machines next Monday, so I won't be here, but if there's anything you need, I'll make sure whoever's in here with you will have it, so.
Okay.
And I think that's all I had for you guys, so.
When is, I'm sorry, when is that, commission, the Kansas Commission meeting?
Oh, KAC,
Wichita?
Is it in,
Wichita one, is that when?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's when we got Reed's vote for.
and it's December.
I had an email on it today, the final date to sign up, I think, is it late October, or October?
I can't remember, and I didn't put it on my,
I didn't need to write it down either. I've got the third, says KAC Wichita through the fifth.
Yeah, that sounds
Okay.
right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, don't verify it, don't count on me. That's right.
I think you're right, but let me do that. Let's see, where'd it go?
You
Third through the fifth, yes.
gonna go, Steve?
yeah, I think I'm gonna try.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, that was-
I'll go.
Last year was at Hayes, and
Yeah.
I got a lot of, or, you just meet a lot of people.
Yeah.
You get a lot out of just talking to people.
Just out to
Yeah,
talk
I got
about,
as much or more out of
You
that
get
than I
more out
did out
of
of the
that,
meeting.
get more out of that deal of the program.
Yeah.
Need to find out if Mark's, I think Mark was, he talked like he was gonna try to go.
Okay.
I added that to your,
To-dos.
yeah.
okay.
And then I'll put the Thanksgiving dinner on there too, employee Thanksgiving dinner. Okay,
Is that all you got?
yeah, so you want me to go ahead and call and get you guys registered?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do that. And I'll start.
Because I think when you asked last time, I was a wee bit undecided, but I think I'll try to go,
Okay,
all right,
let's see, 1,
one.
2,
Yeah.
okay.
I think she'll.
And so you'd want to sign her up for the spouse
Yeah,
thing or
yeah.
whatever? Okay.
She might wanna go shopping while you're at the meeting.
She might.
I think they took them shopping last year, didn't they?
Right, yes, they did.
I will get you registered.
Mr. Bowie, roundtable?
First thing, seed planning, department head meeting, and it's sort of been an ongoing discussion for some time. A new hire, there's the 6-month probationary period, and there's somewhat of some confusion, and it probably needs to be cleared up in policy that after 6 months, someone who has met the qualifications of their position should be eligible to go from whatever step to the next step. And where we're running into trouble is, for some, that occurs as a matter of course, and some it doesn't occur, and in other instances it occurs, and then when you get to April and you have the merit step, that's different than the 6-month probationary period step, if that makes sense. So depending on where you are and when you're hired will impact whether you get 1 step or 2 steps. And some get 2 depending on where they are, some only get 1. So that probably needs to be defined and consistent across the board. So for example, very soon there will be an employee that I will bring before you asking for that 6-month merit increase, and when that gets brought before you, I will be able to come in and tell you unequivocally that they have earned the right to get that next step up. So let's say that happens sometime in November. Then you get to April, are they not then eligible for that merit increase? And it's all about timing, to be honest with you. Some people will come in in March, let's say you get hired in March, are they eligible for that step increase? Because if not, they wait until that next
All the way around.
Oh, we really
a
good.
year around the world, or is it automatically after 6 months you get that step increase? So
To me, if they proved herself and doing a good job, to me, 6 months, they automatically get it. If not, release it.
So,
To me, that's what it stands for.
so I think the consensus among department heads was to, once that 6-month time period comes up, that it's an automatic, if they're eligible for that increase, and then the merit increase in April is a whole separate thing. That way, wherever you're hired in the calendar year, that 6 months starts from the day you start. Does that make sense? And I don't,
That's how it's supposed to be, or that's how,
it's not been, the merit increase that happened in April has sort of confused and then made it to where people have thought that they only had the one and not the other. And it's not very clear in the policy manual, so that's why I'm bringing it up to
But
Lance.
if you're still in your 6-month period, you're not getting a raise in April, correct?
That's a question.
So they're 2 separate things though.
Is it a closed session?
No.
I just needed to ask her a question.
So isn't that how you remember it?
You're probably correct.
If you hired
No, I
somebody
just need to tell them.
February, or just say March 1, they're not gonna be until your April comes through. That's when the merit step comes in. So they're not gonna be eligible for that, but they will get a step increase after they complete their
In
6 months.
In
In September.
But like, Wade just illustrated, you know, if you have
It's a
somebody
long
in,
ways around.
if you have somebody in November,
They can get 2.
they can get to that or wait 17 months, but that's not fair either.
Right, yeah, so that was the point that was being made, that if you fall,
I don't like.
basically, if April comes within your 6-month period, then you're waiting a whole,
So the question is,
beyond a year, that they'd already get both.
they ought to get both, they ought to.
They'd already get
Because the
their-
merit and the 6 month are
They'd
two
already
different
get their
items.
step in April
So they should be able to get their step in April
regardless.
regardless.
If they receive their first step, 6-month step in March or February, they still should get to April.
Well, either way, it's what they're, is either way, it's what they were promoting. So would,
You know, that makes, in my eyes, that makes a heck of a lot of difference where their supervisor starts them out at. If they start them out at a 1, or if they start them out at a 2, or if they start them out at an 8. You know, or a 6.
And that's dependent on experience.
Exactly, and so, I mean, if you start somebody out over the 3, or 3 or above, and their hire date was December 1st, or just say their 6 months is up in February, or March, just say it's up in March, and you hired them at a 4, and then they're gonna get a step March 1, now they're at a 5, and is it fair for them to be a 6 come April?
Not when they start them out.
Not when they started them out at a 4.
But who's gonna make that call?
Exactly, and that's what we gotta, I mean, that's,
So,
I mean, that's.
was that-
that's
The call's the issue.
was that part of the discussion, that the supervisor, that was mentioned, I don't know if that's what the consensus was.
So there was a dialogue and discussion about whether people were started where they probably should have been started. When you look around adjacent counties and what the market is doing, and to start some people where they're starting, some people, no matter what, they have to start out at square one. So that wouldn't be the person you're talking about, but when you're talking about someone coming in who has prior experience, where to fit them into the scale, and the discretion allows for up to step 5, which would be market. And I think that's the kind of situation you're talking about. Does somebody who started out at a 4 and they get their 6-month increase, are they eligible for that additional step? And I don't think that's the type of situation you're talking about. I think it's where somebody started out at a lower end and it's gonna take a year for them
Gonna wait
to.
over a year to get, from their start date, to get a bump.
That's
I
why
agree, but that's your supervisor, that is your supervisor, that is the call of your department head to make that decision. And we always support the decision that they make, or they come in and ask.
And that's why we depend on the department heads
Right.
to do that.
But if you've got a department head, and I'm not gonna name departments, that wanna bring somebody in, a new hire, and put them at a 6, and then in the 6th month, they go to a 7, and then in the 7th month goes by, and it's April, and now they're sitting at an 8. How's that, you know, that's what I'm saying. But you're not gonna buck the elected official, or the department head person, because the elected official's gonna do what they wanna do, number one. You can frown upon it, but they can still do what they wish.
Right.
And your department head, you're entrusting them to run the department, so you're not gonna probably push back on them. But I'm saying that I can see where this goes both ways.
Yeah.
And I'll just throw Wade out. Wade starts somebody at a 2 or a 1. And they come in and Wade comes to us and goes, man, this person is awesome. This is the best person at that 6 month, you know. Wade's gonna say, you know, I brought this person in and there's 1 guys or gals, whoever it is, and turns out it says, I want to give them 2 steps. And it might be February 5th. We're gonna approve 2 steps, and then they're gonna get step increase April 1, because that's what Wade's putting in for it. And so I'm just saying, there's a big, I don't know how you can pinpoint.
I think the issue is, automatic step increase after 6 months, that's not been consistently applied across the board, and I think that was one of the questions that got brought up, and it just, there needs to be a policy decision.
As long as they deserve the step increase. And once again, that falls back on the supervisor.
Right.
The department
That
head.
goes to the department head to make that decision whether they get that step or not.
If the employee needs 2 more months to pull their head out of it and get some sunshine, then that's the department head's option, and you don't give them the step.
We've been really, I think we've turned anybody down
I don't think
since
so.
I've been on here.
For that illustration you just had, Jesse, we had a department head done that 4, 5, 6 months ago. Came in and made the comment, you know, didn't realize this young person, or, I don't know the age, didn't realize this employee could do everything that he or she was doing.
Right.
And we had that 5, 6, 7 months ago.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Well, in this meeting, that was talked about too, that was given an example, and this person's really talented, but supervisor didn't think they could start this person where he needed to be, but now wants the ability to try to reward that, his talent, you know.
if you've got an employee that has merit, or a new applicant that has merit, give them a little more at the beginning, roll it through. If it rolls through the 6 month, you're already bringing them in on a higher level. Give them the 6 month and roll it on back through until the April rolls around. If it's June, when their 6 month is up, they get their 6 month increase, and in April, they'll get their step. I mean, that's how I feel. But it again falls back on the supervisor or the department head.
But sometimes you want to see somebody on paper, whether that translates to the job, and they may not have the exact experience that fits into the role, but you gotta bring them in low to see if that experience matches up, and if it does, then you might have somebody come in and they've proven that they have value, and they go above and beyond and are an asset. So they probably should have been brought in a step or 2 higher, and if that's the case, then, as you said, it's a supervisor decision where somebody gets brought in, but when my decision and Ryan or somebody else it may be the same, it may be different for our own individual reasons, so I don't know if either way is wrong.
Well, I don't know any way that's correct, but I mean, it takes, you know, if you got Billy that brings George in at a 5, you know, and you hired another person that week at a 4, you know what I mean? And it's roughly the same job.
Yeah, it's gotta be consistent.
It's gotta be, I understand it's gotta be consistent, but, I mean, my theory is I never bring anybody in under my lowest pay. That's, if somebody has merit and they've got 20 years of driving, I'm sorry, you're coming in at 25%. I don't care if you got 100 years of driving and accident free, you're starting ground level. But I started bringing that up to where I bring somebody in if they have good background, but it never is above somebody that I've already hired. You know,
Right.
I don't want this guy that has been with me for 8 months to hear that I brought this guy in at a higher pay than him, and he's already been here for 8 months. I mean, that's just fair.
Right.
It's fair to the
Not
employee.
saying you can't bump it up fairly soon if you want to, but I understand.
Right, so I mean, I try to use those tactics in this tactic, and it's so hard to do
Sure.
on the county side, because you have to treat everybody equally, but not everybody is equal, and that's.
Yeah.
That's
Performance, it ideally based on the performance that supervisor sees they're getting.
Yes.
I would rather see be the deciding factor.
Just planting a seed.
Right, and it is $1 million question how to do it.
Well, the initial one sounds simple, add in the probation period and the policy and amendment that says after 6 months, at the department head's discretion, the employee is eligible for a step increase.
Yeah.
And then that gives it to the department head, and if it comes in, then it's not a shock to the board when there's an adjustment.
That's feasible to me.
I can handle that. I don't have a problem with that.
The other one, I guess, the next thing to talk about, and it's also seed planning, and it's a discussion that's not only gone on at this last meeting, but I think it's probably area-wide, statewide, maybe even nationwide, you know, with inflation and, in January, as you know, the cost of living, figures will come out. I don't know what they'll be. I think the range is, right now, appears between 1.7, 1.3, I don't know, whatever it is. Every year in January, you use that to base your COLA. Some years it's a percentage, some years it's a,
Per
per hour. The areas and counties around are catching up, and at least at one point in time, Coffee County was, from what I understand, the premier, if not near the top of the wage scale. And I only mention that just so, I'll use COLA for an example. If every year it's 3%, and every year you go 1.5%, and the areas around you, and the cities around, they give whatever the COLA is, no matter what, the county's gonna fall behind and not have the competitive wage that it once had. Coffee County's blessed, there's no doubt about that. I'm just planting a seed to maybe, look into that, see what's going on around the different communities and counties, because I think some of what I'm getting from the people who pass it on to me, department heads and whatnot, is the jobs that Coffee County once was very highly sought after and competitive are not so much anymore, because there's other jobs in other adjacent areas and communities that pay just as much, if not better. There's an adjacent county that, for a competitive position with Coffee County, they offer a signing bonus and then a bonus if they stay within that community, if they live there. And it's not a small amount. So I'm not saying that's what needs to happen here. I'm just saying it's going to be time to consider that at some point soon. And right now, I'm just planting the seed. So you have that on your radar. Nobody's asking for anything to be done, just so you can be thinking about it. And if you choose to do nothing, that's fine. But you know, as a leader in the building, I feel like it was important to bring it up just so it's on the radar.
Sometime in the next couple of weeks, we probably ought to have a recap of what the last 15 years has been. I know I think Angie can supply that and give us an opportunity to break down what we've done.
I think what happened with the COVID year, and then immediately after that, the inflation went so high and the CPI was so high, and during that time, because it was a burden also on the taxpayers, that in one of those years there was not a COLA, and then subsequent years there was a slight adjustment, and other places didn't do that, or if they did, the adjustment was higher, and as that happens, that gap gets further away or closer, whatever, however you want to look at it. And the point is, and why I bring it up, is the biggest asset of your county government is your employees. If you don't take care of your employees, they potentially go somewhere else. And if you don't want to do that, you have to demonstrate that they also have value, and what that value is, and how you weigh that, how you assign that. I don't know if I have that glowing answer for you, but I do know it's something that you need as the decision makers, you have to take that into consideration, and I think your department heads and the people who work for the county also have to come and be willing to stand in front of you and in the camera and support their position to the taxpayers who say, well, you're potentially going to raise my taxes for some employees in X department in this county. And where is that line? I don't know, but I think there's value in having these discussions. And you know, how important are the people that work here, especially the ones that have stayed here and who've been here for long periods of time? And people don't want to hear that. I'm a very fiscally responsible person, especially as a department head. The chair I have in my office was purchased in 2003. I had my staff pulling the desk in my office was purchased in the 90s. So I'm not out just buying things because it's in the budget. I do appreciate that, but I also see the value of having the right kind of people to work for the county. And I think at the end of the day, as a taxpayer, as somebody who watches from the outside in, it makes a difference on the people you have that in this building and working in the building.
Well, the shortage of qualified people for any job is just, I don't know where all those people are at, but there's not very many available. And if we're willing to write the check, we can buy a desk or a dump truck or a maintainer or a new copy machine. But you can't just go write a check and get the employee that you want.
Right.
So when we've got good people in place, I mean, I agree, they're our biggest asset. And I think everybody knows I don't like wasting money, but it's a priceless commodity right now. Or, you know, just gradually more and more.
And if you look at the workforce in Coffee County and the number of people who've been here for lengthy periods of time, I think that says a lot about what they think about working here, because Coffee County is not the only opportunity, and they choose to stay here. But
that's right.
It's a two-way street.
Yeah, well, and a lot of times, if you're competitive, then they live here for a lot of them, and the job is right here versus driving 30 or 50 miles. You know, so we want to be able to attract people to.
So the last thing I have, as you may or may not be aware, our lead custodian has submitted her notice, and after 39 years is moving on. And to have somebody here for that period of time, I mean, that's remarkable. But what that means is now there's an open position. With the jail sort of on the horizon and the anticipation of what's going to be needed there, and some other discussions about the JSB needing some custodial work. I know Road and Bridge needs it, the landfill and noxious weed. And when you talk about the JSB, noxious weed, Road and Bridge, and the landfill, you're not talking about someone there all the time. You're talking about going and doing a deep clean once, maybe twice a week, depending on the season and what it may take. That's something that needs to be on your radar. So when we talk about the jail proper, the pods, the internal part of the jail, it will be maintained internally, either by inmates or correction staff, preferably trustees who will earn the right to be able to do that. But on the administrative side, it will need staff to be able to handle that. So the proposal would be, and what I'm planting seeds with right now, is permission to go ahead and start the advertising process for the position that we have right now that's open due to the resignation. And as you know, last time we had a little bit of a lag in filling that position. And then to also consider, once someone's brought in for that position, to consider advertising for the second position, that will then be 4 janitorial custodian positions in total, to fill what will be a need over in either the jail, that we're going to have some internal discussions about who goes where and what happens, but that way you have the ability to have those positions filled so somebody can learn, and then have that extra position also included as what I call a floater, who can float and go to the JSB or go to Road and Bridge or go to Noxious Weed or the landfill as needed to fill those needs. So I'm planting seeds. The only thing I'm asking for is the permission to advertise for the open position, because we need to get that done. So
They're needing somebody at the Noxious Weed and
landfill, and so some of what's gone, if you remember, at one point in time, the JSB and Road and Bridge had someone who was paid on the side to come in and clean. That became an issue on the insurance side, because they're not counting employees, and if something happened, and then they would have to sign a waiver and all kinds of other things. So that's been handled somewhat internally for the time being. Why the JSB is an issue. EMS is going to have a full-time crew there for a period of time to deal with weather. I think, Jesse, you probably know better than I do. I'm told the Highway 50 crews will meet there to have meetings and whatnot, and then law enforcement meets there, and I think, if I remember, at the National Guard or somebody meets there. So it gets used and utilized to a point where it needs to have some extra attention.
Well, I think a lot of times the state troopers will bring search vehicles in if they need to, or bad weather, sometimes the ambulance crew rolls in up there and sits there. And I have just seen people, highway patrol or somebody roll in there just to use the facility.
Right. And the ambulance does sit up there during the winter time,
So it's not saying somebody needs to be there full time just for a cleaning once a week, and I asked them between an hour to hour and a half, maybe if it's really bad, 2 hours to clean it, and that would be it. So that's why I call it a floater type position. It'd be the same way at Road and Bridge or Noxious Weed or the landfill, and I know those departments will at some point come in and talk to you and bring it up as a need, and it's been brought up before, but it had been kind of put a pin in it for now, but now we're getting to the point where decisions probably need to be, ideas need to be discussed and decisions need to be made to address those gaps. Do I have all the answers? Absolutely not. I'm planting seeds and trying to get you to think about it, and I'd encourage you to talk to Amber and to Ryan and to Todd about what the needs that they have and why it's important that there at least be someone to come over on a very short period of time, once a week, once every other week, to deal with that and address it.
Do you think that we need to advertise for 2 then, right off the get-go, or?
I'd start with 1, because one gets us back to where we need to be, and then we can kind of go from there.
And try it again.
I would say, I would say that, we go ahead and advertise for that position.
Yes.
Has she already retired? I mean, it's.
It's not final,
Oh, okay.
but I think going through and starting the advertising process to at least get some applications.
Get started, yeah.
So
So
you have something.
you just hired somebody, what, a month, 2 months ago? Did you have,
Janitorial?
yeah, janitorial, did you have extra, extra?
That was closing in on 6 months ago.
Yeah, well,
Oh, was it before I left then, probably?
Yeah.
Time flies when you're having fun. But I just wondered if there was any good applicants that was there that you would call back, because you had to make a decision on one, if there was anything there that you could.
Yeah, I think my opinion would be send
Open
out
it
a
up.
new, I mean, in 6 months, 5 months, people's situations change.
Right.
And sometimes timing is everything. So I'd say get a fresh new batch and go from there.
Is there currently anybody on staff that could take over Charlene's position?
So another part of the discussion is planting a seed for some adjustment to the pay scale, and that would be to have a janitor 1 and janitor 2. And janitor 2, in essence, the difference between janitor 1 and janitor 2 would be 7 years of experience or more, because we have some people who are currently or have been maxed out on the pay scale for years, even prior to the current adjustment. And all that would do, by seed planning would be where the current pay scale is, go from, have that as 1, and then go the next level up to 2, and I think that would have the lead go from 1 step above to 1 step above that.
We have a lot of janitors in this county with schools and hospitals. You never know exactly, who maybe you want to change,
Yep.
or even a beginner.
That's, like I said, it's about timing. One of the issues we had with the position to begin with, and Steve was a part of that process, is the split shift. And some people have a very difficult time with the split shift. For some, it works very well, and others, it complicates things because you have to find somebody that.
in that one case, it was daycare. I mean, that's, if I remember right.
Yeah,
And,
I could see that.
if she would have been a good candidate, it just didn't fit her, she couldn't find daycare.
So before everything, there's a full presentation to you. That's why I call it planting seeds, as you know. I'm sitting down with everybody and we're going to talk about it and see what everybody's thoughts are, ideas, expectations, and come up with a more firm plan to present to you what it looks like and why it makes sense. But I do know that I've been contacted about the JSB, about Road and Bridge, and the landfill, and noxious weed. Recycle doesn't need anything, it sort of takes care of itself, is what I'm told. But that dialogue has occurred behind the scenes between myself and those department heads, and I just wanted to bring it to you so you weren't caught off guard when something happened. When somebody came in and started talking about it, like, that came out of left field. I don't like to be surprised any more than you do, so. felt like that was, something you needed to be aware of.
Okay. Any other roundtable?
That's plenty.
I'm good. Dawn?
I'm fine, Jesse.
Wade? Angie, anything else?
No.
So basically, we're gonna advertise for one janitorial person?
Yep.
The only thing I have is I had discussion with Bart at the North property. I had discussion with the pool people. I said if they wanna take it over and close it whenever they wanna get it closed, as long as the pool people out of Emporia is doing it, still checking it over and everything. Emporia was good, the pool people was good with doing a new contract with them. Then it turned around to where they're gonna take care of it themselves. And I'm not good with that. That's still our property. That's our investment, that's the county's investment. I feel that there needs to be oversight.
Somebody that had professional,
Somebody that thinks they know what they're doing can do just as much damage with a pool than somebody that doesn't know what the heck they're doing. So I pulled off, I said, let me visit with the rest of the group today. I'll be back in touch. The only thing was is they had a close date of the 25th, which I don't even know what the day is. It's already come and gone. 28th. I told them, I said, well, if they don't want it, I said, I can understand them not closing it. It's 80 degrees outside, whatever it is, you know. I can understand that. But there's a point in time where if it freezes, it is a heated pool.
yeah, but there's always that chance that
And there's
if
a problem.
it doesn't malfunction.
Yeah. So I guess my thing is leave it the way it is with them contracted with the county. We can send the bill to them, they can pay it. And if there's any extra charges of closing the pool down after it's later than what they already had scheduled, and we just pass it on to them. But I think we need to have professional people. Not saying that they'll do a bad job with it and so on and so forth. I just don't want any he said, they said. And
Because the end result is if something goes wrong with the pool, we're still responsible for that, isn't that correct?
for the most part. I mean,
What did our contract say as far as mowing the yard and the pool?
They were responsible, I'd have to pull it, but they were taking
responsible.
care of everything, pool maintenance, landscaping, snow removal, and anything that any normal landowner would do, but they're just renting the property.
That they were responsible for it?
I think we continue doing what we're doing and roll the expense of the pool over to.
Thank you.
Have them pay for it.
Say that again, Jeff, I'm
I
sorry.
think we keep doing what we're doing and roll the expense monthly charge over to them and have them pay us.
Yeah,
That's what I personally.
That's what our contract calls for, is for them to pay for it.
For them to take care of it. I think because there's a maintenance agreement,
So they have the financial responsibility, but it's still within our scope to say, you're gonna do it our way, I mean, for lack of better
while
words.
there's still a contract, I mean, that was the issue. I think they originally wanted to take care of it themselves, but there was a contract, and that contract was for a year. And I don't remember when that year started. I've got it somewhere, so.
Well, it was in the latter part because I was gonna be gone over the summer months, so I'm in the spring. So it was pool opening and. So it probably isn't up till May-ish, April-ish.
Probably. I mean, that-
What's the monthly cost on that, through the winter?
It's running around $300 a month,
That
I
may
think.
be what they want to get out of, do it themselves, and not pay
Yeah.
the $300.
Well, they say, well, the individual flies in here and they ain't here 5 minutes and they charge X amount of dollars. Well, that's,
It's professionally
That'll work.
done, though, that's.
if something's wrong with it, then we can point the fingers at them,
Right,
you know, so I just,
I'm in agreement with you, Jesse.
As I am.
Let me go back and I'll look at it. And I'll see if I can give you a more definitive answer. And I just can't remember off the top of my head. I'd have to have it in front of me.
Alright, well, that's all I had for roundtable, I guess.
Okay.
Is candidate two gonna be here next Monday?
I think she said, I think so, I think November 4th, I think.
I think so, let me look, I have it on the
That'd be-
calendar.
November fourth.
Monday.
Yes, next Monday at 1.
At 1.
Alright. I think this concludes our normal business, and now it's checks and vouchers time. Get that ugly chain off there. There's box number 1. Almost, buddy.
Didn't end up having a choke.
Got some feathers there.
Having a fight with us over.
Next year, Wade.
Wait till basketball season.
Yeah, wait till basketball season.
Okay.
Isn't that the normal response? I mean, wait till next year.
Okay, I got you now, yeah. Yeah, we'll show you next year.
Yeah.
Good fun.
It is fun.
Choke on a feather when
Yeah.
the fox comes by.
Catch bird flu.
You got any goodies to send down this way, buddy?
Yep, I was just kind of going over and making sure there wasn't anything oddly, I guess.
Yes, sir.
Is that Sac the county or is that the?
That's Road and Bridge.
Road and Bridge.
Orange bee here.
I gotta have this done by 4 o'clock, don't I? I gotta have that done by 4 o'clock, don't I?
Have some paper.
Yeah, they use silver color paper between stuff.
Wade and Steve, do you want me to use your email? They're probably gonna send you something
That'd
there.
be fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
I didn't know if you wanted your personal, you wanted to send it to me and then me get it to you, I didn't know, but I'll do it to you directly.
That'd be fine.
So you'll have to
I'll
watch
carry
for
it.
that.
Right,
Yeah.
that'd be good.
Okay.
Looks like most of those invoices.
Yeah, I don't know
They're-
why
most of them are travel.
why I couldn't get my eye on that.
Gee, the two biggest ones are travel.
What is it, this, what is this?
I think,
This one?
yeah,
And then this one?
they can sort it out. I don't know why they even use that colored paper.
I never worried about putting those papers back in
Well,
line.
they're with the same department.
Yeah. So I guess I did the wrong one.
Well, you have to say both.
But they said they had to include previous.
Oh.
Oh, you can go visit with Brad first,
Yeah.
and then I can do the checks later.
Yeah. So Wade, yours is gonna go to your Thompson District 5.
Okay, that's fine. I'll try to be watching for it rather than hitting delete.
It'll probably come through today, I would think, but.
You can bring it back out of trash.
Yeah.
That's just what I did a while ago, here a couple of hours ago.
Had to go searching for a lost item, didn't you?
Didn't take long to find it.
My personal email gets so much junk advertisements.
Oh, mine does too, Wade. It
Oh, drives.
don't take longer for me.
Time I get done deleting everything, I'm so about annoyed that I don't want to read the good emails.
I try to unsubscribe, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't have to pay for the equipment every month. It'd make a difference in our budget. Evidently, they're a pretty good company to work.
Yeah. I'll still get the stuff worked on and shut off this.
You're fine.
Okay.
There was the paperwork I was looking for.
Straight line stripping, $122, that's, I think when I first started, it was only 60. But we may be doing more miles.
Well, the older I get, the more I appreciate the money spent on.
Striping,
Yeah, I'm with you too.
Man. We headed out on vacation here a couple, 3 years ago, probably 3 years ago. Got up on I-70 and it started raining. It was a dark night. We were planning to go further and I said, I get to drive in the dark and the rain enough when I have to. I will not drive anywhere finding a room in bed. I hate it.
They'll have to come in on Highway 50.
Yeah.
What, another 2 or 3 weeks? Probably won't be any longer, I don't think.
Is anyone done with coffee?
Yeah, I'm done.
I might cut it off if nobody
Yeah,
wants
I'm
it.
definitely done.
Unless you want some, Steve, or?
No, I'll go ahead and shut it off.
Okay, I just heard it
Yeah.
cooking over there, and I thought, it might be good to, hi, Tom.
Hi guys, how are you doing today?
How are you doing?
Good. Good.
Are you out roaming around?
Yes,
Are you?
you guys had a nice day today.
You too.
You have a good day.
Where's he work at? Hoover's most of the time.
Hoover.
He always seemed like a pretty nice guy.
Oh, yes.
And I don't know him.
Yes.
He knows everybody's name.
Mhm. Are you done already with the first batch?
Yes.
Not very many, is there?
No,
He didn't take long, that room was on about half of it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm disappointed.
This pile here is, I think, made up.
That's sure too bad.
Pardon? Yes. Oh, I see where you signed. No, I
Thought I signed it.
you did, I just,
Sure don't want to find Thompson. I better Tom be here this afternoon for the interview.
And he probably got word out this
See, I haven't talked to him since last night.
Oh.
In the lake?
That was a busy week last week.
Oh, I bet. Well, makes you busy, but I'm glad you're having a turnout.
Lots of first-time advance voters. A lot have waited till election day, but we've had a lot of people say it's the first time they've ever voted advance.
I see.
I voted today in between lunch and, go ahead and get it out of the way, and there's the machine's right here.
Yeah.
I'll do mine later, I make those ladies work. Got a good bunch of ladies down there. Make those, young ladies work too, to get you on a machine. That's Amelia, I had trouble pronouncing her name. Is Amelia, is she getting her house built, or do you know if they've got it done?
Oh, no, they've already moved.
Oh, they have? Where they build it at, you know? It's out southwest, all I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I spent quite a few hours on there. Some of our planning stuff.
Oh, yeah, I see the name.
I
Russ.
haven't looked for it.
Well, yeah, I couldn't figure out that it was Russ.
He's the only one charges $150.
They're working on it.
Pretty well, most of them charge $2.50.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're working on a new handbook.
We are.
Yeah.
Said there's more hours there than I expected, so.
Yeah, they've been working quite a bit on that, I think. That's what I gathered.
Gee, Merry Christmas. Who's that signature on that?
Oh, I don't know.
There's nothing. Angie, you know whose signature is on the,
It says here on the ones that are on.
this chip seal?
Oh, wait.
Oh, okay. I thought mine,
His writing's worse than mine. There's 29,000 there. I wonder what period of time frame that's over. Doesn't make much difference. You know, that last initial, there is a B, so that's what,
yeah, I did. I don't see, it just says, service through September 30th, but I don't know when the. Oh, and service through August 31.
there's 2 months there.
There's 2 months there.
Angie, does Burlington have a Christmas parade?
Thank you.
Yep, every year.
Here's where they get a couple $100 to do. Okay. Ew. Chewy.
What a day.
Hey, oh, yeah.
Falling apart or what?
Very dramatic. Okay, those are signed.
Oh, I did want to mention to you guys, we got the auction proceeds, and we made $47,425
And what was that? Oh,
on the auction proceeds, yeah.
Good.
We just put that in general fund.
I have to distribute
Okay.
based on what was in the auction, so some will go to general, some will go to road and bridge, health, all that.
Big portion of that's going to the sheriff's department for vehicles. And rightfully so, that's vehicle tied to their budget.
Well, that'd be general fund,
Oh, it is. Okay.
and it just goes under surplus property. So.
Okay, so their vehicles aren't part of the sheriff's budget?
They are, but when we do the auction, it just goes back to surplus property that's been sold.
Okay.
It doesn't go back to their specific budget.
Why doesn't everything else though?
The only reason I asked that was because, and maybe I just took the discussion wrong when we signed that vehicle over to Chamber of Commerce. I thought the money was going to the sheriff's department if we didn't give it to them. And they said, no, we don't think we're gonna argue over that amount.
Yeah, no.
That's not the case, it comes back.
I mean, it would have gone to them in a sense if they bought another vehicle and traded that one in. Then it would have been knocked off.
Okay,
whatever
but they
price.
buy their vehicles out of their own
Right,
budget, right?
right.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Road and Bridge, they have to get their money back because it was purchased at a Road and Bridge, and it's a separate fund,
Oh, okay.
and health is the same.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
But like
I thought they
anything,
were too,
appraiser, sheriff, me, anything that is just not the SU
Fire
department
district.
goes back to, well, fire will go to fire,
Mm-hmm.
but anything that falls under the general, it just goes back to the general.
Okay, I just didn't know if that
Yep.
was, went back to the sheriff's department.
Yep.
But not.
So how was Rock Valley, Iowa, Wade?
Well.
Pretty country up there.
Yeah, it is. He said it, you know, it was wet and it turned off dry. Their beans only made 80. And he's just kind of disappointed.
Corn made 260.
Yeah, actually I think that is about what it said, yeah.
And that's not irrigated.
But it was, yeah, right, but it was okay.
It was okay.
You know. They're gonna survive.
Yeah, they'll
the year.
survive. Might be able to buy some seed for next year. Who had any bushel beans?
Whole Iowa dairy I go to, just about 5 miles from the Minnesota line, northwest corner of Iowa. But I imagine their rent's a little higher.
Yeah, more likely.
There's a fuel bid, it's labeled fuel for $7,500. There's no identification who's charged that. You know, the $9,000 is sheriff's department. Call County Highway Department, sent a check for $23,000. There's no identification who got it.
Sheriff's Department.
Bill, it's never been, that'd make a total of $16,000.
I see.
All that stands in. There's no. Unless there's another page in there that I missed. They got the same figure, no, they're all different.
Yeah, they're all different. See, this is fuel different way. Oh,
That's the first 9,000.
right.
One on question 70.
And then
Well, Ryan wouldn't be mistaken, but it's too much, it's more money than we ever had before, there's no initial on it. That's how I overlook something. jail's got a lot of meals this month, $6,500. There's much documentation as there is for something there, I assume.
Oh, this is one. This would be on. Yeah. See, that takes care of that. So this would be. This is all in the sheriff's department. Right?
I can't see it being that much money. That's 16, that's a lot more than
I've never kept track of that figure, Dawn.
Yeah, I'm not.
It's, I don't think it's ever been over 10.
I don't know.
Well, let me look at the dates and you start on something. See if I can find some dates. Well, they got these down to the time limit and everything. So much AM, so much PM.
It's a card lock system.
I'm sorry?
I said it's a card lock system, isn't it? For fuel?
I assume it is.
Yeah, they have to have a keypad or something for the fuel.
Yeah, but I can't figure, I don't recall it ever being that many dollars, even close to it. I could be mistaken. Yeah, it's got the off-dump, got the mileage and everything else. And everything's listed per vehicle.
Yeah.
Every vehicle's listed. The $9,000 is documented, the $7,500 is not signed.
Let's see.
So I was looking at it. I think I signed that, but I'm not sure whether I did or not. What type of system did you say, Jesse, would document all?
Card lock. It's just a computer system. You just either put a card in or you got one of those deals like you get into the building, little computer thing. It's registered to you or a card number. And
How many stations around got that type of facility?
what? This is all out at Road and Bridge, right?
This is sheriff.
Sheriff's
Yeah.
Department.
But it's out at Road and Bridge.
Yeah, that's where they're
That's who
charged.
they're okay.
That's where they're getting the fuel at.
Right.
So that would be a printout from Road and Bridge to the sheriff's office. Here's all the fuel that.
And then
Here's all the fuel
apparently
that
they
I
have,
shouldn't have asked that question. Yeah, it'd be out Road and Bridge.
then apparently they type in their mileage and everything.
Unit number and.
Yeah.
See, on the fire department, that's the way it is. We've got cards. We go in and punch in your number.
Yours are probably CC cards though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you still have to put your odometer in, your number, truck number.
What we've been talking about a little bit, Angie's, Sheriff's Department using $17,000 worth of gas last month. I don't think it's ever been over 10 before. Now, I could be dead wrong, but it looks like it's all that, the documentation is there, but the $7,500 is not signed. The $9,000 is signed. There's two different figures there.
Yes, hold on, let me check on that, Don, hold on.
Lauren Paul signed it.
sign my name, my signature would get better, and it's got worse.
It's got worse.
You have that handy again, I'm gonna go look and see.
Stack on here.
Yeah, I had to run on you there, John. But don't worry, you'll catch up, you really do.
Well, here's these contract attorneys. I'm not sure the value of 5 or 6 of them. I seen that.
Okay, it's not just the sheriff's office. It's noxious weed, appraiser, and this amount was signed on the front here.
Okay.
There it is. But if you look at it, you got appraiser, you got sheriff's office.
Did anybody sign that 75?
Yeah, it's here. 75,
Oh, I didn't see Lauren's signature on
Yeah.
it? All right, sorry.
so
That's just more or less there.
that's noxious weed, appraiser, I think it's all county departments on that, so.
There's Tim Johnson's deal. I want to ask Angie that question on that SCAR report. Who's this on? That's the auditor. That's Phil Jarrett, that's normally always here.
Oh.
But there's an invoice for that 5,400, but there's not an invoice for the 9. Well, it's got.
You talking Gilmore?
Yeah.
Total of 14,822.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask Angie on. They got a, I can't think how I want to say it. Review the 2025 budget, fits $400. Then they got a $9,000 deal there. There's no document to back it up, and it's got a zero balance on the debit side. So, it's probably all right, but I don't know. I want to ask, I'm sure Angie would have signed it wasn't right, but. We had them do quite a bit of extra work there at one time on, the mill levy, we was gonna go into it, everything.
Right.
They probably spent quite a bit of time.
Probably.
Yeah, probably so.
But I'll see what Angie says. Here's an attorney, Albert Harris, out of Ottawa. Which I haven't heard of him, any attorney out of Ottawa.
Yeah, he's used him before. I think contract.
Yeah, Wade used him before.
Yeah, Wade's used him
Yeah,
before.
I'm sure we have. There's Evan. We got a contract here on,
They're not,
on auditor Phil.
Huh?
He's got an invoice there for $5,400, but he's got a $9,000 deal there, but there's no documents for it. I know we had them doing a lot of work on our mill levy, but, and I'm sure it's good he signed it, or there's no documents.
So that was,
See, they done the 25 budget,
yeah, the audit, they did the audit earlier,
but there is no documentation for the
and
audit.
then they had assistance with preparation of 2025 budget, including additional time with several budget revisions.
Yep. That's all up there under the $55,000.
Let me pull the previous one, hold on.
It costs money to save money.
To come up with a zero balance.
Yeah.
That's your goal.
For the $9,000, I got a zero sitting in the debit side, but I know we hadn't spent probably time on some other requests.
Getting right, Craig.
You know where the stamp's at, Jesse?
Yeah.
Getting brain cramp.
Be a lot better, my
You're
signature.
getting what, Wade?
Brain cramp, getting a headache.
I've had a brain cramp for a long time. Well, these legal notices here. And quite a bit of money for a newspaper.
Yep.
You're about done, so your brain will start loosening up.
I'm working on it. I'm on the home stretch here, Don. I think. Unless Jesse throws over another stack here.
No, stacks are going.
Damn.
Hold on. Good catch on that one.
I'm sorry?
I said good catch on that one. Because we already paid them the $93.97 for the audit. This invoice is $54.25 for the budget.
We don't have an invoice on that 9,000.
It was paid at the end of September.
So that's why there's
That's why
a debit or
the total is 14.
Yeah,
for the
they've added it
32.
in.
Right, and so it looked like the total was 14 and it actually
If we'd have
was,
sent them a check, we'd have got our money back.
I know, but we'll void
I
this.
trust them.
Right. We'll reissue.
yeah, there's an $18,000 check in here.
It should be 14,000.
This is
For Jared, Jared Gilmore,
Uh-huh.
it's 18,000.
You just read me a $14,000.
Oh, did I read you 14,000?
Yeah.
Should be now.
14.
14,800, okay, 14,800.
14.
So we'll avoid that and reissue.
Transpose the 4 and the 8.
Yeah, I added it together, right?
Well, if the 8 would have been ahead, it'd have been 18,000.
Okay.
Old Dawn. Bird dog Dawn.
No, not at all. That's the one thing I got half-assed working anymore is my numbers. Name recollection, I ain't got a chance.
Well, I never did have it, Don. so-
I never did have name recollection.
Somebody comes in here, I can be like, yeah, I think I've seen them before, they've been in here before.
I recognize faces, but I don't recognize
Yeah.
names.
Can't put a name to the face.
I find somebody out of context though, like somebody comes up to me in a restaurant or something, I'm like, sometimes I'm lost, you know. Oh, now I know where they're from.
You know, my answer to them anymore, I said, I know exactly who you are, but I can't recall your first name.
I see.
And it worked, I've never had an issue.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not-
And then I tell them,
I was questioning it.
then I tell them, while you're at it, give me your last name.
That would make you feel like a little good, that, doing both of them. We didn't have this county running this postage machine meter in here. Say $50,000 a year.
We got rid of our meter. It was cheaper to buy stamps. And we went to a lot of, bank draws.
Oh, ACH.
ACH.
I buy a stamp, I buy a roll of them.
Yep.
Buy 100 of them at a time, and it lasts me quite a while, that wouldn't you, but.
Well, the dependability of it getting where you send it, though, is the amount of time.
Yeah. Somebody sends
That's not,
somebody sends it out, and 2 weeks later, they still haven't gotten it.
yeah, I send somebody a check, and 2 weeks later, they say you haven't paid them yet.
Angie, here's one, I don't know whether I've ever seen it before. Printing Plus Emporia, filled with the Coffee County Sheriff traffic tickets, 1,100 of them for $1,001.
Okay.
The rate's $91. Traffic tickets.
They're handwritten, the ones
Yeah.
that have to handwrite?
Probably got carbon copy.
Card, like,
copy?
yeah.
Okay, there's 1,100 of them, that's probably.
Kind of.
They sell them for more than 91 cents to the citizens, though, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, a few $100 added to it, huh? I don't think I've seen that in time.
I don't ever recall seeing the,
Yeah.
well, 1,100 of them.
That, yeah, they shoot
Really
1,100
think-
tickets.
Oh, last them
Wow.
4 years, you'd think. Or longer.
Well, this attorney is doing some work for wage $445 an hour. I took the wrong horse, which is called
You say you should have been an attorney?
Well, that'd have been a joke.
Don, they wouldn't have made that much back then.
Well, that's been a few years.
Yeah, it's been a long time. 59 years now, so I don't know.
We hear from Bob? Commissioner Bob,
Oh, sometimes he pops in.
does
Mhm.
he? Got brain cloud.
Bob,
Terrific, yeah.
I was reading some of this stuff here 2 weeks ago, and Bob walked in.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he pops in every now and then.
I have not heard from him.
First time I'd see you.
I talk to him every once in a while. Not very often. We met with, East Kansas Council of the Aging a couple of weeks ago
I see.
down here. There was some questions, and so,
Okay.
and he's president of that board.
I see.
He's president of that
Yeah.
board, and so
Here's a radio maintenance from Motorola, quality one, $20,000. signed by Amber.
Voting.
Go around to the clerk's office.
$446,629 minus the 14, whatever that was.
How many dollars you said?
$446K.
That 1.7 million should be in that.
That was in the round number.
That was in
the other.
That was in the first round.
Yeah.
Have you ever redone already? Look at you.
I can't live that one until Thursday.
Right, right. Thank you, Jessica. You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
How long has Jessica been here?
6 years.
I mean,
6 years. Honestly.
This goes with this stuff.
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay, this is the.
That was
one we
it, that
redid.
was, yeah,
Okay.
that's a check.
I got you.
Yep. Paper clips, ma'am.
This is that one we redid here.
here's a check, Woodson County Sheriff's Office.
6,000.
68.
Yeah, $6,800.
Yeah, for hosting.
You know, they've got all the names are still listed on this.
I think that's okay, just as long as it's not, like medical stuff.
I don't know. All $40. You know what it is, Steve?
No. As long as my name's not on it, we're good. Not saying it's not gonna be on it.
Give it time, Jesse.
One of these days. Start getting my spot cleaned up. I only got like, what, 2 months left? I have to get my spot cleaned up.
I'm surprised they're still buying Escort. $8,100.
Do what?
I'm surprised they're still buying Escort.
You can still spray Escort.
Can you get the effectiveness out after the grass all turned?
Well, this is Jack and Teresa.
Oh, boy. And see, so that,
Escort's not gonna do much for brush.
and then Teresa, in fact, I just got through spraying some Teresa with it.
Those three said still be green, I imagine.
Yeah.
I got some spots, if you're still looking for places to spray trees, I got some spots. If you're bored, Steve.
No, I did a summer burn and that, and then I've got stuff about 6, 8 inches tall again. And so I would have been spot spraying that stuff.
You know, they think this summer burn might be a pretty good
Well, I'm gonna find out. It's sure cleaned up. Nice.
Here, 6, 8 years ago, they got that quarter of grass down there east of River. And they've got a lot of tests in there.
David Kraft, I mean, he's the one that recommended.
They
I thought I used to know something about grass. I don't know squat compared to him.
He's very knowledgeable.
Oh my word.
Very knowledgeable.
I checked with ASCS to make sure that it wouldn't jeopardize anything, and they said, no, actually, KK is recommending more and more for science.
What about in fall now, like kill your wiregrass seed and stuff? It's too late to burn anything?
No, I don't think it is as far as that's concerned. Like on CRP, the dates, like on September the 31st is the last day you can do a summer burn on CRP and not jeopardize anything with the government. But on your wiregrass, Wade, I would guess that it would still be a good time to do it.
Is it pretty good on it?
Well,
It comes up from seed.
It
so
comes up-
You can burn the
you
seed.
can burn the seed.
Is it a biannual or is it perennial?
I think it's an annual.
4 o'clock. That right there will pay it out completely.
Yeah, I know.
What's that?
That right there will take wiregrass off completely.
Yeah, well,
Just use it.
used to be able to do that, I think.
It was labeled about 25 years ago.
I had a,
Yes, it did. In fact, they had a label to spray grass with that product.
I had some that was so bad, but it was back then. I sprayed it, and I didn't hardly have nothing left for the first year. But then, I mean, I thought, wow, maybe this was a mistake. But
You're only supposed to use 1.5 pounds instead of 5 pounds.
no,
I'm kidding.
there just wasn't nothing else out
I'm
there.
kidding.
It had it choked down, you know.
I know.
But then the next year, then the natives started coming back.
I'm just.
But well, I'm telling you, there was nothing. You could see the ground out there.
1.8 pounds is the label.
Yeah, I think it's 1.8, yeah.
We sprayed about 2 acres, and it does a great job on taking the fescue out of the edge of the native grass.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah,
took all the bark grass.
You
trying to take the
you
thing
guys
the other day.
sprayed it for me, and they backed up and flushed out the roots, took care of my run grass.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But that came back, yeah, they're getting
Yeah.
whatever else they had in there flushed out, you know. But yes,
I've done
it
that,
did,
Tom.
man, it did a job on that wiregrass,
Yeah.
it worked.
Yeah, I've done that a time or two, backed up a place and thought I was good and got a call or two on it.
Yeah, atrazine will sure take it.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
And there's quite a bit of wiregrass around it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of wiregrass around.
Yeah.
Well, that there,
Yeah.
just don't let anybody know what you're using for.
We can sign all those, doesn't he? We gotta go through them all.
Anybody else got anything?
I'm going.
nope, I'm done.
We're 50 minutes short of the record, 55.
I know.
4:58,
Well,
I
if we
think, the
had-
longest one
We
out
did
there.
that other
If we
interview.
had the other candidate, it'd
We would
be
Be
fine.
right there.
You'd be right there.
Yeah.
I told my wife it'd be 5 o'clock before you even thought about it.
All right.
You were right, I believe.
Nobody else has anything, we will adjourn, right? Yep, adjourn.
Very good.
At 4:02.
You know, time-wise, everything, we got behind a little bit there at one time, 15 minutes.